And welcome to Western Canada, the province of Alberta, the city of Calgary. As we look in on downtown Calgary, the Tower, the Bow River. Beautiful day here in Calgary, Alberta. As we move over to Canada Olympic Park, you will find us in the Calgary Curling Bubble at the Winsport Arena, the venue for the next 10 days of the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. In session 1 today, it is the United States versus Scotland. And representing the United States, we have lead Tara Peterson, second Becca Hamilton, third Nina Roth, and their skip Tabitha Peterson. They will be taking on Scotland. Leading them off will be Lauren Gray. Second, Jennifer Dodds. At third, Victoria Wright. And their skip, Eve Muirhead. There's all the nations participating in this year's World Women's Curling Championship here in Calgary. And for this first session, session 1, on sheet A, Switzerland will be taking on Korea. Sheet B, Italy versus the Czech Republic. On sheet C, RCF versus Germany. And on our sheet, the feature sheet, United States versus Scotland.
Yeah, some last-minute instructions from the coach, newly capped, to his, I guess, not as many players as usual with the issues that have been going through Team Germany. The alternate and second will not be playing this draw. We'll have to find out when they're allowed back in. Testing positive, of course, as everybody knows, around the globe. But luckily and thankfully, the rest of the team are going to get to play, Melissa.
That's great, yes. And my name is Melissa Saligo. I am with Olympic and world champion Kevin Martin. And Kevin, what a story this has been. We've been all on the edge of our seats waiting to see if Germany would be able to play this morning.
Yes, and then thankfully they have been cleared by all the various health departments that have been involved here over the last quite a while to get this underway, so thank goodness.
So Kevin, in this morning's game, we are looking at Scotland versus United States. We've obviously got the experience of the skip, Eve Muirhead, taking on, I believe in her skipping debut, the United States skip, Tabitha Peterson, but she's not new to this environment.
Not to this environment, but new to the World Championship skipping. Yes, she had always thrown third in the past for Nina, and then Nina took some time off because of getting pregnant and having a little one, of course, which is fantastic. And then Tabitha started to skip and realized that, well, the whole world realized she was really good at it all of a sudden. And so Tabitha's continued to skip and Nina throwing third. So basically the same team, just a little bit different lineup than what people may have seen in the past.
So we saw the last stone draw numbers there, and by virtue of their numbers, United States will have last stone in this first end of the session 1 of the World Women's Curling Championship 2021. And we are excited to get started here, and Scotland will get us started with the lead, Lauren Gray.
Line's good, tight.
We were listening in to their pregame practice, Kevin, and it sounded like from what Scotland was saying is the ice is right there already. It's already up to speed.
Isn't that terrific to have that first game of a championship? Usually, as you know, Melissa, from all the times you competed all over the world, first games are sometimes a little tricky, but obviously not the case. So you can see the aggressive play by Team Scotland, throwing the center guard, feeling comfortable, getting aggressive early. It's great.
And of course, this is the 7th event and the final event here in the curling bubble. And Kevin, both of these teams were in the Grand Slams, I believe, in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, and actually that was for Tabitha. That was her first games of the year. Her first game of the year was at the Humpties Champions Cup only 2 events ago. So I think for their team, it was fantastic that they were able to play in the Grand Slam events here in the bubble to get some games in before the Women's Worlds. So yes, I know they're happy. And of course, Eve hadn't played many games, but had practiced a lot at the National Training Center in Scotland.
So as you mentioned, Kevin, the first center guard went out. Team USA trying to come around. It does stay open. So an opportunity here now for Scotland to get a bit of a hit and flop. Just getting by that center guard.
Just didn't have the weight necessary. The throw was good. Just Lauren Gray coming up just a little bit lighter than wanted.
Yeah, do you like here? Yeah, okay.
So opportunity here for United States. Tara Peterson to hit and stick and lie 2 early in this first end.
Tara Peterson, a dentist by day, a curler by night. Is that the right way to say that? I'm not. Something like that.
I'm not sure, yeah.
Something like that.
9.5.
Nice shot there. House split with hammer for Team USA.
Okay, just gonna so it's normal.
You hear those numbers that Eve Muirhead was calling out, 9.5. That's the speed that they want the rock to travel between the 2 hog lines. It's about, I would say, maybe a regular weight or normal weight, whatever their terminology is.
And different teams will, that's a great point, Melissa, and teams will use different terminology, but that's pretty common, I would say, in the women's game to use a hog-to-hog measurement of whatever it might be, 9.5, 10, 10.5, the time. So anybody at home with your stopwatches, you can time from hog to hog, and that'll relate to what the teams are talking about. I know at the Martin house, my dad always had us watching the curling. He'd always have a stopwatch, actually a real stopwatch, not one on his phone, of course, but like a real one, and then be able to time all the various shots. So it's something that we always did at home growing up. I'm not sure if that's normal or not. Probably not.
9.
It is the Martin household. That was Becca Hamilton, the second. And here's the rules of play in the round robin. 6 ends minimum that need to be played. Each team will get 38 minutes of thinking time, and each team will get 1 60-second timeout. So a little mistake there by Becca, just the hit and roll out. This gives Scotland the opportunity now to try and hit and maybe roll. Would they be looking to roll behind the center guard, Kevin?
Definitely, but this is really curling.
Forget it.
Wow.
Just tricked a couple of times at the with the Scotland front end, not throwing enough weight and just getting caught in the curl. Jennifer Dodds, of course, going to the mixed doubles with
I think like
the champion of the Grand Slams, Bruce Mowat.
Right.
So
you see how much that missed, like you say, Kevin. Just if you're light, especially in this first end, we always, as a coaching perspective, always say you want to make sure you just throw it there at that little extra, just because you can. It's the first end. You don't know exactly what it's going to do.
Really, Curly, come on, you gotta go. Go.
trying to get this into the rings.
Okay, whoa, then, Nina.
Well swept. Just trying to make sure there's no double, and they're so far apart. There's no problem there.
If that keeps curling, it's going to curl right out of those rings. So great shot there.
To your point with Melissa, and I should mention, of course, Olympic bronze medalist, and we were teammates in
Sure.
back, should we say what year?
No, let's not say that.
The 1992 Olympics in Albertville, France. We're, of course, Melissa on the ladies' team. We were on the guys' team back then, all those years ago. But you're talking about the paths and the ice and why those rocks are coming up light. You can imagine it's very important for the teams to try to get last rock advantage. So the rocks are thrown mostly edge of 12, middle 12 to the button. So that area in the middle where those two takeouts were missed, it's kind of near the center line where rocks aren't really gone during the practice. It's kind of no man's land to start the game, and that's why they overcurl. That's why you got to keep your weight up early in the game in the edge of 4 to edge of 4 area.
Yeah, those are great points. And, you know, something that, you know, and again, first session, so that's something that'll be learned and they'll remember that obviously next time they come into a game. So we just saw Victoria Wright there hitting and rolling out. So this is Nina Roth, who used to skip this team, is now back from having her baby and trying to split the rings here again by that little miscue by Team Scotland.
And Nina's a nurse. And she's been a fantastic curler for a very long time. She's been one of the top players in the U.S. for quite some time. Really good touch player. Really good with anything, draw, hack, board, that type of stuff. Very strong. Well, it's time for Team Scotland to make a roll to get out of trouble here. Been a bit of a not a really strong first end so far. So, but one roll could sure make a difference.
Yep. Definitely, and this is the one, as you say, this one is maybe not a double possibility, but definitely the hit and roll either behind the center guard or even perhaps behind the other rock that's sitting just back T-line. Lots of room, lots of options here.
Hard! Hard line! Okay, sweet. Okay, back. Nice weight.
It's not in, but it's in kind of a tricky little spot. Tough to come around it.
It's a little tricky, but you mind hitting him there?
Yeah, I think same thing, don't you? Hit.
That's fine.
Alright,
Can I have a little bit more room?
A little more ice, trying to feed through between the center guard and the rock just out of the rings. It seems like a big hole, but the rocks are curling so much that it's a little bit tough to get through there. This is a tough shot.
And from a throwing perspective, you're looking at this going, ooh, you know, because of the stagger, it doesn't look that easy, and it's not that easy. You have to just get by that top center center guard.
Curl it, Tara.
It's not by the center yet.
Hard, Tara.
Not by the center yet.
Tara, go!
Go, Tara, you got it.
Okay, you're back.
Oh,
Wow.
Yep, no.
So a very difficult shot. Everybody can see now why everybody was couldn't decide if to even try that shot. Just barely missed the center guard and buried.
Fully buried. Wow.
Terrific, anyways. Good result. Now Eve's going to need that roll. Look at this. Just gets by, but watch it finish. That's why it was such a difficult shot. Right in behind. Perfect.
Give me an inch more. Yep.
So Team Scotland, Eve Muirhead with her first here in the first end. Obviously can't see the other Redstone at all, so opportunity here now to hit and perhaps roll towards the center line. You heard her say right off the bat, Kevin, just take that little bit extra ice.
Just to be sure.
Just to be sure.
Okay, well, good try. Important to stick around and make Tabitha make her hit and stay.
Kind of weight?
9.5.
Okay.
And Tabitha, a pharmacist.
Just a bit inside of bypass.
There's a lot of careers going on the United States team. That's
Yep,
fantastic.
and she just did it too with a 9.6.
Yep.
So curled up. So.
Yep, you got it. Let's go.
So this is Tabitha Peterson with her first rock here in the first end.
9.5.
In her skipping debut at the World Women's Championships.
9. Whoa, whoa. 9. Right off. Tara?
You can hear them yelling 9, so it's just a little heavier, which is a smart throw, as we mentioned earlier.
Very good, and didn't really want the roll behind, because the roll behind would have been behind the tee line. And Eve, you know, she likes being aggressive. Might have played the freeze and ended up taking the end away. So smart call by Tabitha and Nina. But now Eve needs the roll behind the center guard to save the end.
Same way. Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Final stone, Team Scotland here in the first. Without the hammer, currently facing 2. Would love to get a hit and roll here towards center.
Same weight.
And right on the nose.
That's good, Eve.
Well played end by Team USA.
Very well.
Thanks, Eve.
As we saw a couple of misses, and as a result have an opportunity here now to get their deuce early in this first. And that's big. That's big against a team like Scotland.
Let's go. You got it.
Here we go, final stone.
9-5.
End number 1.
Slightly down. Slightly left. Yep. Yep. 9-5. Yep. Yep. Clean. Clean. Clean.
You like when they call clean.
Tara?
Looks like a good throw.
We got it. Gotta go. Yep.
And there it is, 2 on the board for Team USA after 1 end of play.
We should go down here. I had a 9-9.
Yeah, 9-8.
9-9.
What was your first one?
9-5.
9-5.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, really good, you guys. Okay. Probably go this side, just.
All right, turn. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sweet. It's just things Jen on my sort of hat like midways. So now I just need
And we are back. United States taking on Scotland here in session 1
Take a look.
at the World Women's Curling Championship 2021.
It's there. It's there.
Kevin, really good end by United States there in the first end.
Really a solid end, and I guess the toughest shot would have been Nina's in-turn draw through that backward staggered hole, and just barely got by the center guard, and then just barely got by the corner guard. And with that perfect shot, really did set up the 2 points for Team USA. So now you're going to see corner guards going up, and Eve Muirhead and company trying to get the 2 points right back.
And you mentioned this off the top, Kevin, is that we know Eve Muirhead. She's been around a long time and she's very aggressive. And so we expected her to see her aggressive even without the hammer in that first end, which was, you don't see that very often.
Very confident too. She's very, well, one of the best players there is on the planet. So yes, she'll be aggressive the entire game and the entire event. She's very confident and very good, and it's just a matter of, just a couple of open hits were missed. So the simple shots were missed that time, which won't happen very often.
No, that's a good point for sure.
3. It's a good release. 2.5.
So for the U.S., first Rock top 4, corner guard, as we see there by Team Scotland.
Yeah, it needs a curl.
And now
Tight.
Tara Peterson.
14-8.
I was hoping this one was just going to be short, but just slides into the top 12.
Good judge. 4-8. 10.5. Okay, this is this one, Eve. This is terrible.
Okay. This probably will move a bit. This is the finisher and it's close to the center line.
Yeah, I like that.
So playing the double and maybe even get the roll, but doesn't want to get in too much trouble in the top of the house. So Eve's hitting the middle one.
10.5.
So Lauren made a comment there, Kevin. I'm not sure if you heard it, about this rock is the finisher. What does she mean by that?
It looks like it may be she thinks it may be a bit of a cutter. And trying to hit the top one ends up hitting the back one, so
Hard, Jen.
she could be right. So that missed the intended
That's good.
target by a
By a
long
lot.
ways. So let's keep an eye on that. That's a great statement early, and certainly has shown twice. Would have totally missed the rock again, other than there was a second one in the house to run into.
Yep. Hurry.
Some rocks are a little bit scratchier than others. Like they would have just sanded these stones right before the event started. They were supposed to have a practice for every team on Wednesday. That didn't happen because of the issues with COVID. But then they did have a practice yesterday, and now the games are starting. So some of the rocks will still have some, I always call them teeth, but some edge to them. And you'll see those will be the cutters, finishers, whatever you want to call them. They will soften out as the week goes on, but first game, sometimes it's a little touchy.
And such a great catch by Team Scotland. That just shows you their experience, just knowing that right off the bat. And as we saw, that's likely what happened there. So
Nice. That's good there.
Good shot.
Yeah, really nice roll there.
That's fine. Good sweep.
there's the coach, David Murdoch. He was also here for the World Men's Curling Championship. Then I believe he ran back to Scotland
To have a little one.
to have a little one.
Well, not
or
his wife.
His
yes,
wife.
yeah. But good, congratulations, David. That's fantastic news.
All the way hard.
And welcome back, I guess. That's a lot of travel in a short amount of time, but good for the Murdoch family.
There's a good shot there by Becca Hamilton. Gets the hit and roll back towards the center. And there is a familiar face, the United States coach, Lainey Peters. Lainey from Canada.
Yes, out of Calgary, and she's actually USCA Coach of the Year in 2020. So terrific coach, and of course, congratulations on that.
Let's wait. Okay, clean up. Yes. 10.5.
So I would just say in the first couple of ends so far, what we're seeing, Kevin, is I'm not sure if, as you mentioned, we've seen some misses on the easier shots, so the so-called, open takeouts, and I'm not sure if it's Scotland's weight, that they're just not throwing enough weight, or they're not taking enough ice, or the combination of both.
Well, it's been the second stone of both. So it could be the actual stone as well, just a cutter.
9.7.
But you've just got to realize that. Take more ice, throw it a little bit harder, maybe a little more spin to keep it straight. And I'm sure Eve will talk to the team about that. But it's been consistent now for 2 straight ends with the same players missing the same shot. So that
9.44.
we'll see as we go forward.
I think so. Let's just roll. Okay.
Nice shot there by Nina. United States currently lies 3.
Okay. Do you know how much you're trying to hit?
So time for a bit of a cleanup here for Scotland.
Let's do it.
Couldn't seem to get anything going, so it'd be nice if they can at least make the double here. Maybe the hit and roll even, trying to generate something.
Yep. 10.5. Yep, hard. Slow.
This looks close. I'll try to get it right over to the freeze.
Nice shot. Well called.
Great shot.
Really nice.
That was 10 each. Okay. Really good.
Actually carried.
What a fantastic shot there by Victoria Wright. And a great call by
Which
Eve.
way do you like?
I like this way. We played this
Yeah,
before.
to get this roll absolutely perfect,
What kind of weight?
just such a difficult call. And now you can see the angle across the house when it stops. If you can imagine, if you hit this one really hard on the nose, it would go onto the red. That's a back biter. So there's no chance of getting it out. So it's just a matter of hitting this on the nose soft and try to stay shot for Nina. Just like that, you basically set up for your 2 points.
Exactly. It was looking a little scary a rock ago.
Now, Nina has to hit this just across face a little and have them stick together. And just, so need to curl up just a little bit more to sit shot rock. Got rid of the freeze.
It's okay. Okay. This is a very hard stick to beat this. Okay. 6.
Is that T-line?
Just high of T.
Okay.
Just high of T, so just above the T line to not give up a double opportunity. Would really like to keep this half a stone in the 8-foot so that it's better than the red on the side.
Toppy. No more T-lines.
Would it be
We're
6?
heavy just now.
Back 4.
Backy.
You heard Victoria right off the get-go say that this rock is heavy.
Freeze back.
Hasn't taken the curl yet, and that usually is a sign of it having plenty of weight.
Coming down. Back 8.
Looks like the line will be okay to the back one.
Good. Good.
And about halfway down, you saw that rock. It was way out there, hadn't taken the curl in it because it had the extra speed. But once it does, you just see the weight come right off it, and it's just a great shot. I'm not sure, is it, no, it's not second. It looks like it might be third shot.
But it didn't go deep enough to leave a double, so there's no double. And Tabitha's got to be a little bit careful in trying to hit the shot yellow that she doesn't tick her own red and give up a chance for 3 here. So best to be safe on this one. And even if you roll out on this one, Eve will just hit shot stone. You won't give up more than 2. You'll have the hammer in 3. With that terrific hit and roll freeze, sometimes you have to tip your hat and good shot and give up your 2 and carry on. So
I like it.
trying to hit nose here though.
A little left. Yep. Similar to last time. Yeah, just a little flat terrace. Perfect. Okay.
First U.S. skip stone. Here in the second end.
9.
Looking for a nose hit. As Kevin alluded to, just making sure the last thing you want to do is get anywhere near that red stone of your own.
9-2. Yep. Hard.
Very nice. Right on the nose. That was the call.
Good throw. Good sweet. 9-2.
Looks like red's line first and second.
It's a room to. Yeah, that's a tough one to not jam somewhere.
I think we know that we're going to look up the price. It's pretty simple like that. Even just we can get a hair underneath it. Yep. Hair underneath.
So on the nose or a hair underneath, as you heard Eve say, which would mean getting to the inside of the red, and you might even just bump the other red out a sliver to sit 2. That's what Eve's kind of in mind thinking. Very difficult, of course, to make that.
Okay.
But there is room. Got a couple of inches of air to get inside the red, bump the other red out just a little, so you can sit 2.
Yeah, there's a good look at it, as you say, Kevin. Just maybe an inch or 2 to play with, but first and foremost,
Firm time.
hit shot rock here.
Please. hard, Jay. Got to go.
Has to curl quite a bit to get the desired outcome.
Nice. Good shot. Good sweep, Jen.
That's good there.
Nice
Yeah,
shot, Eve. Good.
Good sweep.
Tempter.
Well, Tabitha could take on the double now, the 2 yellows to sit 3.
Everybody in the U.S. just having a quick look at who is second shot. From our perspective, it does look like it is red.
But they're all having a good look, so it
They
must be
are.
closer
Must
than,
be closer, yeah.
than we think.
9-5 still. Yep.
It does look by a fair margin, though, that red's better than the yellow. So you could hit and roll over freeze, make the double.
Okay.
Just don't
Same
want to
thing.
give Eva,
You got it.
just don't want to nose hit this one. That's the bottom line. If you nose hit, Eva will have a fairly simple double for 2.
As long as we stay second. Okay. We got plenty you can roll to then. So. All right. Let's go, Tim. Yep. 9-5. Yep. 9-5. Yep. 9-5. Yep. Yep. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Looks pretty good.
Whoa.
Trying to get the roll across house
Yep.
to the freeze. Oh, that's really nice.
Nice
Well done,
shot.
very nice. Really nice. Really good sweep. Real good.
Well thrown.
I don't.
Yep, let's just go out.
And you can see that Eve could maybe take the double on, but even if she hit the outside red onto the other red, it would probably just jam on the yellow anyways. So forced now to hit and stay for one, we think. Eve went and looked at both of
She
the rocks
did.
again, so
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they end up measuring maybe after this stone.
So this is the final stone here in the second end for Team Scotland with the hammer, we think, facing 2.
Similar to the last. Clean. Clean. Yep. 9-5. Clean. Just clean. Just clean. Just clean. Just clean. Just clean. Yep. 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 Yep.
Very nice throw, no problem. That did finish a lot.
Oh, it got away from them. Wow.
So I think it hung on. Eve, that surprised Eve. It surprised me too. It looked like a nose hit. But it looks like yellow hung on for 1.
Yes, I have that one.
1 for sure.
Right, we know that for sure. Good measuring.
They are going to put the measuring stick on it.
Yeah. Yeah, good end.
That was very surprising. Everyone's, I think, was shocked about what a jump that took.
No question, no question. So bringing the measure stick out. So for people not
Anybody need to go to the bathroom?
not really knowing about these interesting curling pieces of apparatus,
Yeah, I agree.
Just on that wing, I was last.
the umpire brings out the stick, and there's a gauge, a pressure gauge. As you can see, it's near the end. They bring it out, and it's got a trigger on it. And you'll see when the trigger's activated, there's a certain amount of pressure, and that'll go up on the dial. There, you can see it. So that went to 2. So now I'll go to the other side. So this is unique to curling. I don't think there's a stick like this in any other sport in the world. And it was red.
So there we go. It was a hit for 1 for Team Scotland. It is now USA 2, Scotland 1 after 2.
Good work. Proud of your eyes.
My eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was proud of it again.
It's a little light.
Higher brushy.
Line side.
Just higher brush.
Curl it.
Hard, Becky.
Halfway. Hard. You gotta go. You gotta go. Okay.
Kinda high.
Anyone's been in a while.
Start. Top 8.
Okay. Top 8.
Okay, so this might be a
I think
bit of a fresh
14-5.
pass, you
Welcome
guys.
back to the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. You're watching our feature game, United States versus Scotland. My name is Melissa Saligo. I'm joined by Kevin Martin, world and Olympic champion. And a bit of a surprise there in that second end, Kevin. It was clean, 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 and then, uh-oh.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Yeah, just hung on. So, yeah, you've got, it really took off her out-turn hit, the last one. So
Just cleaning.
there has been a lot of curl in the ice, which is great to see. It's just a matter of the athletes getting used to it, used to the amount of movement. I remember this is the first game, so
You could probably
I think your
throw-
point from the
throw it
first end
12.
is very valid right here, and that might be the same situation where some rocks, as you say, might just be a little sharper, edgier, finisher, whatever you want to call it, and that's almost what happened there. It was very interesting.
yeah. So it's the people wondering. So we had the men's world championship quite a while ago. I don't even know now. I've been in the bubble so long, but in a month ago or so. And then there's 2 Grand Slam events on the same ice that both Eve and Tabitha played in. But just so everybody knows, that was on, the ice has been redone since, and they're different stones here. So there was even more movement during the slams, and the ice is still moving lots, but a little bit less here. But just so everybody knows, there's no big advantage for teams that did play the last 2 weeks and teams that didn't, because it's a different surface. They have different logos and stuff, of course, different sponsors for the slams. So the ice makers actually at the end of the Players' Championship, they take the ice right down with Zambonis and then redo it, redo the circles, redo all the logos. It's quite an operation to get the ice ready for the next event.
It is. It's incredible what our ice makers do to make such great playing surfaces. So we just saw a bit of a miss there from Team USA trying to hit that rock of Team Scotland in the house, and it just ticked the guard and rolled out. So small little opening here now for Scotland.
It's kind of the first substantial miss
I would agree.
far by Team USA. They've been very, very solid first 2 ends. So now a chance though. Try to bury a little wee bit of this around that guard. Yeah, hide a wee bit. Yeah, perfect shot. The reason to hide a wee bit is so there's no run back possibility. So perfect shot by Jennifer Dodds.
Like the way I played in there, yeah.
Could also call it a Christmas tree. Little half under, half under.
Do you like this way? Yep. Let's go back. I think I need a little more. Yep.
I've never seen green handles, but that would make it a real Christmas tree.
Wouldn't it though? That'd be great.
Whoa, whoa, Nina. Whoa.
So Becca Hamilton trying to remove some of the Scotland granite, just get the top one.
And I left Becca out with her being a student. Talked about everybody else, what they do on the U.S. teams.
Same throw.
It's Jennifer Dodds, her second stone here in third end.
We're low. We're high.
Doesn't have much light.
Just to make sure we're over.
Line's good. Wait on way.
That's fine.
Line's
good.
On
Carol.
This one's moving very slowly, just getting over the line.
Oh, well swept to get it there. That did the job.
Good sweep. I couldn't get my words out. I was like, light.
Heel.
You won't stick. I think I will. I have got most of it.
Okay, let's go.
Just try to hit it thick.
Just having a peek over at the sheet next to us on sheet C, RCF taking on Germany. RCF with a quick 2-0 lead there in the first. This is Team Germany's final stone here in the second.
Yeah, Daniela Jentsch with the in-turn draw against 2, no choice. Not really a takeout that's very inviting. The rocks were spread across the whole house, and you can see the skipper jumping up to sweep because there's only one sweeper. A 3-person squad here for the next, well, until they've got the approval to get the whole crew in there. But nicely done, right to the side of the button. For a single, 2-1 now, RCF over Germany after 2.
Okay, wait, it's nice.
Back on our feature game here, United States was able to make only one of those yellow stones go away, so Scotland still putting some pressure here on USA, just sitting one top 8 and putting on a second guard again.
Coming down.
This one curling
Coming
maybe
down.
a little bit more than the
Really
previous
nicely.
one.
Good job.
Well, still a nice shot, though. There's no run back, other than a double run back possibility. And yeah, and when it comes to the Scottish athletes, they curl basically full time. They're training, working at the game. Had the opportunity to have a really nice chat with Eve just a few weeks ago. Excellent. We get along great. I really appreciate all the effort she puts into our sport, and they just spend a ton of time training. Trying to make a double peel here. They got rid of one.
Yeah. Just that line
Really
above.
nice end for Team Scotland here.
Like a nice throw. She said good throw.
Again, as you mentioned, Kevin, it goes back to that one little miss or half miss from United States. That was the first one we've pretty much seen this game. Just that little tick on the guard, and this is the environment that we're in right now.
Trouble.
Okay,
Similar.
Yeah, it only takes one miss at this level. That's right.
Similar halfway.
Well, just guarding up, trying to make sure that
Little heavier, halfway.
you don't leave a run back on either this stone or the other guard. This looks good, though.
So based on the tactics that Scotland is
Nice, right?
employing here
Really
by
good.
throwing up another guard, protecting a rock in the top 8, Kevin, are they saying they're trying to put the force on? Is that what they're trying to do? Not really the steel, but more the force?
Yeah, well, the rock's only in the top 8 foot, so the odds of stealing with that stone isn't great. But there's no way to remove it, so it's a terrific force stone. I thought Tabitha might come around with Nina's.
You got it, Nina.
Like, Nina's such a good draw player. I thought they might come around that yellow to the side of the 4 foot and try to change gears a little bit, but still playing the peel. This is Nina's last.
Yes,
thought-
you'd think, yeah, maybe, as you say, that maybe with the second stone that they would have definitely tried that come around and put a little bit more, pressure on Scotland rather than themselves.
Want to get that out of the in-turn path, and that's actually not a good result because a draw to the button will have to go right through that red rock. So that's a big problem. I would imagine Eve now will come around the guards, not throw another guard.
Such different, like, quite interesting.
I didn't see the call, but with that broom placement, I would say it's an in-turn draw to where I thought Nina would draw. So a bit of a surprise there with the strategy for Team USA. Not a surprise with Eve's coming around, trying to pour the pressure on.
Yeah, we were just saying
Super
that.
experienced
It
skip,
should be decent.
one of the top in the game.
The whole sheet's kind of a couple of foot on from draw shot, like 2 foot on from draw shot.
Give me a couple inches, Vic. I do think they can finish it. Yep, like that. I don't want to crash.
That looks really good.
Yeah, I like that.
Great comments there from Eve. You heard her say, you can get by that redstone almost beside it and it still will try and finish. So the last thing she wants to do is crash on her yellow guard, and it's hard to imagine that based on where she put the broom.
Right, go then. Top 12. Sharp. We're sharp. Right, whoa. We're sharp.
So this is a new side of the sheet,
Jen, hard Jen.
so it's a little bit heavier on that side.
Right over, Jen, right over, come on. Okay, that's good.
And just a quick update around the rink. Sheet A, Switzerland with a 1-0 lead over Korea.
Yep.
And Sheet B, Italy and Czech Republic tied at 1 in the third end. And we just saw Germany getting their single. So it's 2-1 RCF over Germany. And as you know, in our feature game here, United States 2, Scotland 1. But Scotland applying the pressure here in the third end.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so right even with that guy.
Tara through this. Yep.
Yeah.
14-1 for, yeah.
So 14-1 is what they're saying is what draw weight to the forefoot would be. Hog to hog. And that makes sense with eaves coming up light. So people with watches, we can put a watch this. I think even a high 13s, 13.8, 13.9 would probably get there.
Yeah, this path was nice for me, Tab. 14-1.
Something you can give us 14-4, 14-3.
Yeah, I mean, we want it to have 8 fills.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm remembering your shot.
Yep.
And mine was
14-5 's
top
good
8.
too. Let's go.
You got it.
All right. Let's put a watch to this and see where everything's at. Trying to get T-line here and bury around the tree.
I think that's about the same ice that Eve took. Hers was just a little bit light, I guess.
Yeah, just light. And the curl about the right amount is just never didn't have a chance to get to the house.
You're gonna have to go, Tara.
That's 14.5. And it has plenty of weight now, trying to make it carve in there, try to bury it.
Yep. Mine's more important.
Well, that is buried and a beautiful shot.
What a shot.
I was like,
So Eve was quite light because that was 14.5. That's keen ice, 14.5 to the top 8. And not really swept a lot. So
No, they were on and off it, as you say, Kevin, and just smart sweeping all the way. And just finishing it at the end. Yeah, and 14.5, that's exactly what we would expect. Nice shot there by Tabitha Peterson.
So to the tee line, you'd add another 2 or 3 feet. And it's about 7 feet per second. I get into math now again. So it'd be somewhere around the 14.2. And that's what they were saying. 14.2, 14.3 to the tee. So very good. So in-turn tap here now for Eve, trying to get rid of that red rock and sit 2. But it is buried behind the granite.
Queen, 12. Whoa, Queen. 11.5. Yep.
So you hear them saying 11.5, 12, somewhere in there.
11.5.
It's about half weight. Oh, this looks good.
Guys,
Well, perfect weight control.
Hard.
Just enough.
Right out. Go.
okay. Nice shot.
Didn't get it out, but it doesn't matter. Both of those yellows are buried underneath, but beautiful movement. The weight control is key on this shot. Just enough to get it out of the 8-foot circle.
Scary switch today.
And that's such a good point too, Kevin, is that with ice that curls so much, if you're a little light, it overcurls, smacks the guard. If you're heavy, it'll take a straighter path. So it's weight control is so crucial.
This is a tough shot for Tabitha, trying to get by the corner guard and not crash on the one Eve just threw. So very difficult against 2.
So last stone here for the United States. Drawing against 2. Tabitha Peterson. Once they're by the red guard, they're good for line. Just have to get it full 8.
Oh,
What
they got
a brush.
Well done, Becca. Got it there.
And it is 1 on the board. Thank you to the sweepers. So it is 2-2. Or sorry, pardon me, 3-1. United States over Scotland after 3. We are back at fourth end here in the battle between the United States and Scotland. What a draw. What a sweep by the United States in that last one.
Oh, wasn't it though? You know, they had to wait and wait and wait for the rock to curl off the corner guard. And they even said right before the hog line, curl to get it by the guard. And then once, of course, you get it by the guard, it's lost some of its speed. So then the sweepers have to try to carry it. And yeah, well, they did absolutely as good as you can do to get that rock as far as it got. To be able to wait, and then go like crazy the last 15 feet.
And that is a 3-point swing, really. If United States misses that shot, they give up a steal of 2. Like, that's huge.
Huge. Yeah, it was a terrific shot by Eve Muirhead that forced that difficult draw. But now the corner guards are going up. An attempt to get a 2 or a 3 for Team Scotland now on the even ends.
So Tara Peterson with her first one, top 4. Bit of a tight guard there by Lauren, just slipped in a little deep, but it is still in the free guard zone. So Tara now trying to cap off that one, just trying to get a guard right in front of the red stone, that's top 4. United States doing a great job so far, trying to put some continuous pressure on Scotland.
You did that beautifully. Good job.
Yeah. Probably 14 and a half. It's like 2 foot on from draw shot. Okay, that's good. Line's good.
Top 8, top 12.
That's good.
On the lighter
That's
side.
good.
Line's good.
Wait only.
Top 8.
Lauren Gray looking to freeze
Line's
right on
curling
top of that
hard.
red United States stone.
Well, this is that second stone that they've been having trouble with. Came up light. They thought it was there. So there is something to that, I think. It leads me to agree that they've got a bit of a cutter, and usually a cutter will be a little heavier because it's a little scratchier. What did now? What would your team do if you find that, say, lead has a rock as a cutter a little heavier, and their second has one? Do you leave 1 and 1, or do you put them together and make a person throw them both?
We tended to put them together. We tended to put them
And
together.
just give more ice.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
Instead of trying to adjust it twice for 2 different people, just trying to adjust it for one person.
Just 3, guys. Whoa. Just a 3. 3. Line's good. 3. Yep.
So trying to make the corner freeze now on the yellow in the top 12.
Whoa. Yeah, we're there.
So not freezing on the face, but just on an angle. Yeah, just like that.
Good job, back. 3-8.
Yeah, great shot. Now you can see there's no run back possibility to that shot stone. So a little bit of kind of pretty much have to open it up. So, yeah, Beck has come to play today.
3. Whoa. Yeah, we're there.
Just listen to the communication between these 4 members here. Doing a great job.
Good job, back. 3-8.
So cleanup time here for Jennifer Dodds.
Try to make contact, red onto the red. Needs to come up just a touch. Very nice. Very nice shot. Well, even if the yellow in the house, it's not hugely important. It probably hit it, I would think. But great shot to open up the middle.
Very good. And yeah, Tabitha was just thinking whether she needed to hit that one or not. It's kind of tricky there because that yellow rock rolled to the boards. Not really guarding that other yellow stone, but it's just sort of in the line, our eyesight.
Hard, Tara. Hard, Tara. You got it.
Oh, this is moving over though. It's close to being a biter. And now a chance to open up the whole thing, make a double here. And
Okay. Don't mind the head roll.
okay. Good thinking by Eve. So if you take on the double, if you make it, great. But Eve's saying, but if we hit it just a little bit too thick, the first one, it'll make the double, but your shooter will roll out. Tabitha will walk up, peel the corner guard, and the end's over. So great call by Eve. That all makes sense.
Yeah, for Team Scotland here with the hammer in the fourth end, the even end, they would love to get a deuce here, obviously. So she doesn't want, as you say, to end the end too early by rolling out, but that one over curled.
I like it here.
Nina Roth.
Yep. 9-6. Wait's nice. Yep.
Make sure they stick around.
Very nice, Neen.
Good call, Tab.
Very nice indeed. The double is possible. And roll to center. Maybe even roll all the way to the other side behind the corner. Of course, that's very difficult. Be a 7 or an 8 foot roll. But make sure of the double. Make sure of the double, stay, and then be able to maybe deal with the corner guard later.
Easy peel. Yep. Whoa.
Looks good. Looks good. I'll try to roll that right behind the corner.
Hard, Jen.
Oh,
That's a good try. But you can see the difficulty in that roll when you're trying to roll it all the way across the house. You'd think hit it much thinner, it's going to roll right out. So tough to make, but terrific try. It made the double, which was the most important part, and just about made the roll.
yeah, and they picked peel weight on that, obviously, to try and get that action on the roll. But those are hard to call, too. As you say, just another inch more, that could have rolled right out of the ring. So great call there by Eve.
Yep. Hard.
Now this is a spot where Eve's last one really curled and kind of surprised them. See if the sweepers can hold this. They can't. And that's not a big surprise. That's where Eve's hit for the single, where it's clean, and then all of a sudden, and that's what happened with Nina. There's a spot there that just curls a lot.
Yeah, both teams going to have to pay attention to that spot right there, as we see that rock hit and roll out. So opportunity, just small opportunity here now for Scotland. Try and get one in behind that corner guard.
Top 4
Love to try and set up a deuce late in this end.
Line on line. Line's good. T-line, weight's good.
Well, this should curl.
Line's good. T-line. T-line back 4.
Just watching it go there, Kevin.
Close line. Close line. Yes, line. Oh, we're good.
T-line.
We're good.
Coming down.
That was on the center line, halfway to 3/4, and look at it. Over curled.
Yeah, it's completely lost
Amazing.
underneath that corner guard. Ice like this is a lot of fun once you figure it out.
What a good shot.
Tabitha taking on the freeze. Could play the run back, being 2 up. You can imagine that the worry in this shot is if you were a little heavy and you hit the yellow in the house and bounce off into the open, and then Eve makes the roll behind, now you're on the hook for 3. That's where being 2 up, the run back, the most you're going to give up is 2.
14. Yeah.
But this is the aggressive call. Of course, if you make it perfect, you're out of trouble.
I would imagine the other concern, just based on the fact we know that this spot curls, would it ever over curl and tap that yellow guard in even? Like, that's something we don't want to think about, or they don't want to think about, but you know, it is a possibility. So very difficult shot here for USA, but as you say, the aggressive call to try and get it right on the face.
Back.
It's behind it.
This one's got a little bit extra weight.
Like right behind it.
No.
Okay.
And just heading over to sheet B for a quick update. Italy, Czech Republic in a 1-1 tie.
What last would have been.
Yeah. Wondering if at that point do I start
Last stone.
clean it or work it over a bit just to get more of it?
Yep, I think once you run then.
A good chance here, sitting one on the side of the button. There's not a lot of room to get another one snuggled in there. In the full four, even maybe having to bite button.
Wow.
Look at that movement. And it did bounce off a little bit. Looks like it should be two.
It is. They did get two. What a shot.
All right, for Eve, there was a bit of a little bit heavy. That was the concern, but I don't think Eve has any way to hit the shot stone and roll in behind again. So it's a matter of knocking the red out. Oh, this is hanging though. Does make the takeout, but looks like it may roll too far and does.
Weight looked pretty good, Kevin, and that one just didn't seem to take the same curl
Yeah,
path.
not quite. No, not quite.
Maybe a hair more.
I agree.
I like that. Just take a couple feet off.
An update, RCF versus Germany.
Same thing though, Tara.
RCF with
Fully.
a
I think
1
so, too.
point lead.
Well, Lena Kovaleva with an intern draw
So just a couple feet.
to the needing a bite of the forefoot, but only can see a little bit more than that. So a tough draw, but of course we've seen so much curl on all the sheets. As long as you get by the red in the top 12, which it does, it should finish lots, and it did. Great draw. Look at that, it buried fully around that rock. So 4-1 now, RCF over Germany. After three.
It's a wee bit less, but not much.
Yeah.
6, 7.
I like the way.
So last skip stone here in end number 4 for the United States, trying again to get that corner freeze.
Yeah, it will be.
This is close.
Atta girl. Very nice.
Good shot, Tom.
Really nice.
Beautiful.
At a 3-9. So it was less weight.
Yeah.
Just
3-8. Yeah.
she has it in her.
Nicely done by Tabitha. That's half buried underneath the guard.
I was thinking, yeah, like a nice
So
line.
Eve thinking of taking on the run back for 2.
And we're going to need more ice.
Yeah. I agree. I like
Just
that.
a hair high.
Hair high is perfect.
So taking on the yellow, raising the guard onto the red one, and staying for 2.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good, Eve.
High degree of difficulty, of course.
Don't think it's their nail turn, is it?
We didn't think so. It's pretty hard. What weight you throwing, Eve?
9.
Yep. Really like that.
9 right on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's really nice.
So looking to hit this just high side, so just on the broom side, hitting that yellow rock just outside the rings. And this is the final stone in the 4th end for Scotland.
9.5.
9.5. Yep.
Waste time.
Wait time. Whoa. Yep.
Looks pretty close.
Get really going. Whoa. Yes. Sweep it.
Hard bit. Hard.
Now, does the red spin out far enough?
Good. Great shot.
Great shot.
Good shot. What a shot by Eve Muirhead. Puts 2 on the board, and you just watch the brushers trying to keep it for straight, and Eve's yelling the opposite, but they managed to squirt that red one out at the back. Watch her reaction.
Hard bit. Hard. Good.
And they get it. It tied 3-3 United States, Scotland after 4.
If it's like off the center line, I don't mind coming around. But if it's on the center line, a nice one, I have to retake it.
Don't mind it. 'Cause that's kind of helpful. Like, get things in.
feet slower than the out turn, I would say.
Okay. Just really keep looking and get
Yep.
this in a good spot, nice and tight.
Yep.
Held on to it a bit. Felt light.
And we are back for the 5th end of play here in session 1, United States, Scotland. Again, in a tight battle by that fantastic shot by Eve Muirhead in the last end. A short run back to stick it and get her to.
Just barely.
Just.
Had some spin on it. And, you know, the weight was perfect. Again with Eve, that's 2 times the in-turn tap in the 3rd end, and now that angle raise was perfect weight control that made that shot. So, well done.
So just listening in on Team Scotland as they were discussing the weight for that guard that was just thrown by Lauren Gray, and you know, talking maybe about one side's a little bit heavier than the other side right now, and of course that's depending on you know, the number of rocks that come down each path. So that one over curled a bit, the guard did, and it's almost like a corner guard for Team USA, so they're going to use it and try and come around.
Yeah, Tara's had a good game so far. That was perfect to come around in the top 8.
You can see the rotation on this rock by Lauren, and it's still taking a lot of curl. Plan B is trying to get in behind and just ticks the red one. Weight was really close.
Sure. 10. Let's go.
And heading over to sheet A, Switzerland with a 1-0 lead on over Korea. Korea final stone here in the 4th end.
And those 2 red rocks are lost underneath the guards. So Eunjun Kim trying to get by the guards tight and trying to get to the buttonhole. Going to need a lot of curl though to be able to get to the top button. Looks pretty good though. Just needs. Was it even possible? I don't know, but it's a steal of 3-0 Switzerland after 4 over Team Korea.
Sheet C, RCF with a 4-1 lead currently over Germany in the 4th end. Germany with the hammer here in 4. And there's a lot of rocks in play there, Kevin.
It looks like definitely Germany sitting 1 on the button.
9-5.
And it looks like maybe the back yellow as well in the 4-foot for, I believe, for 2. Yes, 2. So 4-3 now, RCF over Germany after 4 ends. Very difficult out-turn draw, trying to sneak in there for a 3rd point, if there was even room.
Good sweep. Whoa. Very nice.
Good sweep.
Another great shot there by Becca Hamilton. It's
9-2. Good job.
USA line 2.
Raise a release.
You can
And it's
probably
out there and then finishes hard.
Sorry. Like that's maybe easier. Nose. No.
Eve was looking at playing the hit on the back red one, but the problem is if you keep doing that,
It's minimum.
how are you going to ever get out of trouble? So somewhere along the line, you need to try a really tough shot. So asking Jennifer Dawes to come around with hack weight and hit the rock that's completely buried.
Heavy 12.
And I totally agree with this call. It's the riskier of the calls, but you need to do it sometime pretty early in the end, not late.
11-5.
Need to make contact though.
Keep going.
It is.
Right to nose. Nice.
Wow.
That rock is completely buried, but once again, weight control, just enough to knock it out.
Good info, Lauren. Yeah, good. So just here.
Nicely done by Jennifer Dodds.
Like, I really good shot.
And you can just see that. You can't see a lot of that rock. It's not an easy shot. So as you say, Kevin, comes down to the perfect weight to throw on these kind of shots. Looking at for about half weight.
Positive. Just bumper.
Whoa! Whoa! Nina!
This rock's out there a ways.
Come on, Nate. Come on. You got it. Come on. You're doing it. Come on. Hard, Nate. Hard, 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 hard.
Has a piece. Does not stick around though. Does it even remove the yellow? Does. So a pretty good shot, but really good call asking Jennifer Dodds to make the tough one. Made it. Forced Becca to a tough one and kind of made it. But now a chance for Team Scotland to get out of trouble. So
You're doing it. Come on. Hard, Nate. Hard, 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 hard.
Great brushing there by Nina.
and that was just, you can see that was more weight. If that weight was like Jennifer's and just through the rings, it would have stayed in the house. Just overthrown a bit by Becca on that one. Now the open hit.
Nice.
Team Scotland
Good.
out of the immediate
Good, Beck.
trouble.
Yeah. That snaps down there.
Weight it does.
Yeah. Really good, like out the hand. I felt solid. I was like, whoa, whoa. And then, because Laura said
USA does have hammer here in the fifth end. They would be probably pretty happy, I would imagine, Kevin, if they blank this end.
Yeah, and keep the hammer in the even ends.
9-3.
And likewise for Eve Mirage, you'd love to force one here, get the 2 points back in 6, and then have the lead 2 hammers each, theoretically. It's really important for skips to play the scoreboard. That's what I just always did my whole life. It was always my strategy kind of matched up with the scoreboard as to what end and what the score was and who had hammer. So I know it's a lot to comprehend, but that's what these skips at this level are thinking all the time. Try and manipulate the game to agree with the scoreboard.
Trying to get the roll.
Good line call.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
Good job. Good, nice shot.
Got under quite a lot of it under the guard, at least half.
5 or bumper?
I like here.
Okay.
I got it.
You saw the indication there by Tabitha Peterson. She actually wants to hit and roll away again. So again, trying to keep the blank alive.
All right, Nate. A nice tap here.
If this ever rolls, not out, but even just to the biting 12 foot somewhere, Kevin, does Scotland ever decide to come around that guard? It's a pretty high guard.
It's too high of a guard. That's the problem. Yeah, I don't think so. And we're only in the 5th end. So it's pretty early in the game. You have to take a huge risk like that. Good shot. Didn't roll to the outside, but that's just fine.
Right, was great. 10-6. Good job. 10-6. Yeah.
Eve, with her aggressive nature, will try to get underneath, try to hit and roll under in an attempt to force Team USA to a single point.
Found me again.
Or maybe even to a steal in this position. If this roll is made, Eve will have a good chunk of the 4-foot circle.
Okay, yep. Yeah, that sounds good.
It's a pretty good look at it. I would say it's almost edge on edge. Maybe a little piece of that redstone's buried.
Clammy, I know it's so clammy. Clean. Firm. High 10s. Lead. 11.
Trying to get this little extra curl now to get the roll underneath. Good throw, not quite. Of course, you know, the skip, as you said, Melissa, it was underneath the guard a little, and it would be foolhardy to go after it so much you tick the guard. And now you give a simple 2. Oh! So instead, a lot of times the skips will, you're calling the roll, but you kind of chicken out at the end, and don't take it on too hard, or else you could tick the guard. Like that's the exact same spot that Tara Peterson ticked in the
Right.
third end. Exact same
Right.
spot.
Kind of weight? 10-5. Okay. Okay.
10-5? Yeah. All right. Deal.
Yeah, we're not gonna get
Okay.
First of the skip stones for the United States here in the fifth end.
11.
Becca, go. 12, 11, 5.
Now, this is out there a bit.
Come on.
Wanting to stay. Should stay, no problem.
Good.
Good shot. There would have been nothing wrong with rolling that right out to the very edge of the house, but you want to be sure to stick around. Force Eve to make the perfect roll.
10-9. Good, we said 11 right away.
okay, 11 this time.
Okay.
Yeah, same weight.
Yeah. Pretty much the same weight you just gave us last time. Yep.
Team Scotland would like to get the hit and roll, but as you said, Kevin, it's not without, you know, you got to be careful. You don't want to do anything silly and hit that top guard. So final stone for Team Scotland without the hammer here in 5.
Clean.
Same weight. Parallels, 11.
Clean.
Oh.
Yep.
Really nice weight on this.
Yep, hard. Good.
That's
Good weight.
perfect.
What a shot.
Nice, Eve. 11.
Soft weight on this one. Took a few feet off it. Let it have that little extra curl. So it looks like it may be exposed a little wee bit.
Yep, hard. Good. Good weight.
Boy,
You can't see a lot of it, Kevin.
I think yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be. It's possible to come by the guard and make the blank, but boy, oh boy, yeah, I think you'd probably miss it quite often. It's just so difficult. You only see maybe an inch or two of that yellow rock. This has to be the right call, but great shot by Eve Muirhead to get that roll. Now this was 14.5 2 ends ago, the draw to the 8 foot. So 14.3 would be perfect.
Last stone, fifth end. United States looking for a single point here in 5 after that brilliant shot by Eve Muirhead. And the brushers are going heads down on this the entire way. Need full 8. And there you go. Well swept. Bites the 4. And they put 1 on the board. United States take a mid-game 4-3 lead after 5. We look back to the first end.
Yeah, the big story is that Redstone is behind that corner. That great in-turn draw by Nina Roth to set up for this in-turn takeout for 2, and really, you know, give Team USA a real good edge. Start this game, well played end, and no mistake by Tabitha in 1. So that's 2-0 at that point.
And they did. USA had a great start to this game. So we go forward to the 4th end, where it's currently 3-1 USA over Scotland, and this shot by Eve Muirhead.
Yeah, you know, it's the scoreboard dictated Eve trying this very difficult angle raise. Stop sweeping, wanting that rock to curl, but look at the red spinning. Spins out far enough. Terrific shot for 2. Ties it up at 3.
And looking across the sheet, Switzerland with a 3-1 lead over Korea in the 6th end. In the 5th, Czech Republic with a 1-point lead, 3-2 over Italy. RCF in the 6th end, 1-point lead, 4-3 over Germany. And in our game, our feature game, United States with a 1-point lead, 4-3 over Scotland after 5.
Okay.
So even though it looks like it's not enough, I think it is for you. Yeah, thank you.
I'll start by myself.
We're changing, etc.
Well, I've struggled with them in the first half, but I still feel patient with myself on it. I just keep figuring them out and checking them when I need to. Yeah, obviously I have struggled with them, but I think I've got them in the right order now. I just need to keep playing them the right way, but they're tricky.
Good job. Keep talking with Eve if she sees something.
Yeah.
If you feel something.
Yeah.
We're good for time, so yeah.
Just having a look at the percentages there. Total percentage, USA with a slight advantage over Scotland, 86-78. Slight advantage in the draw, 92-88. And of course the hit, 81 over 73. So showing on the scoreboard at the moment, United States with that 1-point lead over Scotland.
We got it.
Tight. Tighter in. Tight. Tight.
What? 3. Good time.
Yeah, I forgot they pebbled here.
Yep. Might be a hair faster. Yeah, that's sweet.
You are watching live coverage from the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. We are at the Winsport Arena at Canada Olympic Park in Calgary, Alberta. My name is Melissa Saligo. I'm joined here by Kevin Martin. Kevin, just listening in actually to the conversations between the teams, very interesting. Lauren Gray talking to her coaches about having trouble with the rocks. She said she's trying to manage those rocks, trying to put them in the right order. And we saw that earlier in the game.
Yeah, it's been clear that both lead and second for Team Scotland having maybe one rock to curls more than its pair. And that's difficult to just figure out, to be comfortable. Okay, I need 6 more inches of ice. Okay, and trust it. And that's really, you know, it's not easy by any means when you've got rocks that are a little bit different. And you know, we talked about that it's very common early in the event to have that, and even all the way through the event. But of course, as you go through, there, you know, your coaches will be watching the other teams, the order that they play the rocks in at the end of the games. And so when you go to a new sheet, you'll know how to throw them in what order. But this is the first game, so it's a matter of figuring it out. And the only way to figure it out is to talk about it. Makes sense.
You have to wonder, based on that conversation, have they moved that second stone, whichever one was bothering them, to the lead so that Lauren actually has both.
Really good.
So we'll keep an eye on that. Tara Peterson curling 83% so far this game.
Yeah, strong effort so far.
We know this from Vicky's.
Lauren Gray, I would say, with an accuracy of 78%, doing a fairly good job of managing those stones so far.
Yeah, wrestling them pretty good so far. And we'll get better. Now, get a feel for it and get more comfortable with each stone individually.
Top T6. Curling bed, you need to go.
So Team USA trying to keep the play to the middle. This time, a little bit of a different tactic. Eve Muirhead trying to draw around that corner guard, just comes up a bit light.
So would have liked that into the rings, but that's certainly something usable later to come around both of them. So it's not too bad. It's not exactly what they would have liked.
Becca having a great game that we've noticed so far. She's really been curling consistently at 85% thus far.
Yeah, there's, well, 2 things. Becca, yes, has been curling good, throwing the rock, but her sweeping has saved at least 2 shots for her team, at least 2. So, yeah, having just a really good game so far in both ways, sweeping and shooting.
And another good one there by Becca.
So just high, trying to get 2 reds moving, try to open up the middle. Right now, it just doesn't look good for Team Scotland, so better open up some of the mess. And Jennifer, you can see, oh, look at that. I was just going to say the 68%, you know, and having a little trouble with one of her stones. Well, not that one. Great shot. Opens up the whole middle.
Terrific shot.
That'll help that percentage. So trying to hit it just a little high and does exactly that. Almost gets rid of all 3, but good enough. Opens up the whole middle of the ice for her team. So terrific shot.
What do you like, a guard or in?
I either like this or I don't mind this.
Okay. Let's play
USA probably needs to be a little bit careful here. If they don't put this one in a good spot, with that one just sitting back 12, I would imagine Scotland could say, I'm going to ignore you and go around those 3 corner guards, maybe.
Well, you know, it's kind of neat. That's a really good point. So, as a skip, I always used to try to think in the eyes of the other skip. Okay, what does Eve want to do this end? Well, it's an even end. So I would say she wants to get her to this end and not a blank and be forced in 7. So I wouldn't probably throw this guard because I would imagine Eve will come around it. In the 5th end, Eve might not come around it. It's a different scenario.
Like a 11, 10.
So trying to hit and roll and bump the corner guard into the rings. That's good too.
Yeah, we don't need to be too bombing though, because even this is okay.
I was thinking 9.
9.
If you could ever bump that rock that's only an inch out of the house into the rings, then you've got control of things.
Brennan, do you know how much you want?
It's just a hit and roll, so it's probably similar to what I had last.
Okay.
That's a good positive release.
Noticing that a lot from all the curlers on our sheet, Kevin, is it's so important to be very positive on your release based on the amount of curl on the sheet.
And now it was close to bumping that yellow in. If it just would have been a little straighter, swept out a little bit, you would have knocked the 2 reds out and chipped the yellow in, and would have been great. Well, still a good. It's still a very good situation for Team Scotland right now.
Scotland clipping that other red stone, so now both of those red stones have been removed from play. So Nina Roth here. Looks like she might be throwing the center guard again.
Well, Team Scotland's kind of got Team USA in trouble right now. So a tight guard makes sense. Now that there's not the red other stone kicker. I always call it a kicker, the ones that are hanging around the outside.
Yeah, it really did.
That was like,
They would have preferred that, I'm sure, a lot tighter.
That's very tight ice, just so you know.
Let it track for a while and finish.
Okay, I'll be a bit in tight on it then. Yep. Same as it was, Vic. Yep, exact same as it was.
Playing around the corner guard, trying to bump the rock in. That's not quite a biter. Maybe even make a split, but try to get one of the rocks in around the corner.
Victoria Wright, 85%.
Waist close, T-line.
You can see this rock is on the other side of center right now. It has to cross center and that red stone.
It's trying. It's trying. A little bit unfortunate.
Weight was great.
Yeah, I thought
full 12K.
you got it, Neen. Just a couple more feet.
Try to get one buried in the top 12. Maybe bite the top 8, something like that.
5, 5, 6.
Nice numbers by Nina Roth, 85% as well. Solid performance here so far by US.
It's gonna come down. I think it's gonna stay top 7.
There it starts to curl. Sorry, Kevin.
No, that's okay. Just you don't want over curling, and then like it did, and now Eve can get the roll behind the corner guards, and that's the reason you wanted it up in the top 12, bite top 8. By sliding into the forefoot, it over curled. So this is a big shot to set up for a multiple score. This one right here.
These are one of the situations, if you do show a piece of the stone, you always want to show it on the side that doesn't have the corner guards. Obviously, this is a great opportunity if Victoria can make this shot, this hit and flop behind 4 corner guards.
Good sweep, well called.
Really nice, Vic. 10.5.
And that's pretty good. You'll probably see a piece of it, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Just for that
Another
curl
2-3
there.
inches, USA would be in a heap of trouble.
Good job.
There's a good look at it.
Well, you can imagine you got to be careful here. If you ever hit that yellow, it's going to roll into the rings, the guards. So good shot. Substantial pressure now put on.
Yeah, that sounds good, Tab. I like it.
Bumper weight.
Just by the center guard, so you don't tick the corner guard to get rid of the shot rock. This is tough.
This is tough. This is, there's a port there, but it's not easy. And look at Tabitha's numbers at 90% thus far.
Hard. Never off. Gotta go hard. Hurry, Tara. Hurry.
Looking pretty good, but this does curl in this spot. Cannot afford to tick the corner guard. Oh, it didn't tick it enough to bump anything in, so that's okay, but still.
Good throw. 11-5. 1-4.
It's really tough. She might play this.
That's quite harsh.
Really
It's
tricky.
really
I know.
And
It
if
would
you
be
hit
so.
the
It would be
top
so
one,
nice.
It would be lovely.
My first ball was out, turned it off.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't bid it. Just It's the simplest shot.
If it's
She
fully
needs to
fine,
make a perfect
that's
roll
fine. Yeah, it'll make a perfect
on a tricky line.
But let's
Yeah.
go for the second. Like, yes, yes.
They have to play the outer end.
Yep.
Let's just make sure
So
if they hit and roll,
toss right, you'd be good.
yellow's still,
Still.
Could
shot.
split the rings over here,
So I
but
think
so this
you need
don't
to be
mind that.
full 8.
So this is
No, I like
the
this.
straw shot path.
The other shot splitting the rings over here.
I don't mind that either.
I know.
Yeah, either or.
You just wanting full 8.
Yeah, I quite like this. Do you
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
my first
That was
call
your-
was out turned
or
on.
we just split the rings. I think splitting the rings is a safer shot. Do you like that? I like that. Okay.
Both good calls. There's no problem. The worry, of course, coming around center is that it over curls and you leave a double. So this is the safer call, and both are just fine. There's no
Okay,
problem.
let's go out, turn. Here. No.
Back to the middle.
Back to the middle, I think so.
Well, you know, it's a hard decision. This is a fine call as long as you don't over curl. Just don't over curl and then give a double.
And I heard the front end talking. They were talking about this is the draw to the button path, so they should know this line very well. 83% game so far by Eve.
Line's good. We're heavy back 8. We're back 8.
And the big one was that angle raise
Yep,
for
back
2.
8.
That was a massive shot.
Back 12.
Back 12,
Back
so
12,
that's
but we're still in. We're still in. Just let it die.
does not want to leave a double.
Hard, Jen.
Take it back far
Hard,
enough.
Jen. Hard, Jen. Hard.
Definitely no
hard.
double now. It's
Okay.
too skinny. Well, there is a double, but it would be difficult to take on.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I should have called you to that earlier. Again, it just like dies in the house a bit more than what you think.
So for Tabitha, she wants to make sure she sticks around. And the reason being, the yellow ones that are just outside the rings, if this rolls out of the house, Eve could hit 2 or 3 inches of the top yellow and make a split for 3. So very important to stick around with this one
At 11-5 on your last one.
and not give up more than 2. But if you could ever roll this on the center line, it would be a very difficult shot for 2.
You got it, Tab.
So she ticked the guard on the first one. We saw that, so now it's wide open. So she does have that opportunity to hit and roll to the center and make Eve Muirhead and Team Scotland work for their second point, 2 points. As Kevin said, would really like to stick in the rings here somewhere.
Steady roll.
Definitely better than rolling out. But it's that spot in the ice, coming home, away from center with the outturn. We've seen, I'm not even sure, 5 or 6 rocks over curl.
I would agree.
They've all been over curling in that spot.
Second one down might run a little more. Shouldn't be too
Yeah,
bad.
I think
it
it'll
should be
be
too bad.
really similar. I'll keep
Chance
an
for
eye.
Eve here to hit full 8 for 2 points and
Okey-dokes.
wrestle the lead after 6 ends.
So last stone, 6th end. Team Scotland looking to put a
T-line.
deuce on the board.
T-line. You've got full 4.
Just heavy clean, Jen. I think we're back 4.
If you can't harm
Back
it, I
8.
like you cleaning it.
Back 8.
Calling back 8. I
heavy
saw
now.
Clean it.
previously it
Clean it, Jen.
curled right up to center.
Just clean. Just clean.
And just clean
Yep,
always
yep.
means it's close. And there you go.
Nice, Eve.
Lovely shot by Eve Muirhead, Team Scotland, with 2 on the board.
Nice weights.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, really good. Nice weights.
So for the first time in the game, Scotland takes a 1-point lead, 5-4 after 6.
They'll probably go.
What are we at? 7. The blank would be nice. A deuce would be nice too.
Line's good. Line's tight.
You want to be tight. Luke's long. Luke's long. I don't think you can harm it. I think you're pretty close to our brush.
Line's good.
Yeah, well there. Just keep
It's
it brushing.
curling.
Line's really nice. Good lord, really nice. It was like, yeah.
Well played.
Welcome back. We are in the 7th N Women's Session 1 here at the World Curling Championship, and a big deuce on the board for Team Scotland to take their first lead of this game, Kevin.
Yes, it was just a really nice roll that set that up by Vicky. Right, so that set up the deuce, and you're right, after 6 ends, it's been kind of controlled by the US until all of a sudden now a lead, so big 2.
What do you think of the nose?
I don't mind.
Having a
but it's
peek
long
over
time to do
on
that.
sheet A, Switzerland
If you
3-1
like it, I don't
over
mind.
Korea
That's fine.
in the 6th N. Switzerland
Oh,
with
I like
last
that.
rock.
I like this.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Lena Petz with a out-turn draw to the she has some backing at the back of the 4-foot circle, but needing just about full 4, having to go very, very wide. And she can go right to the back yellow, that's just fine. And that's exactly what they do, and that's 2 points. 5-1 lead now after 6.
RCF with a 4-3 lead over Germany in the 6th. This is the last stone for RCF.
Yeah, the yellow stone in the back 4 is shot rock. Team Germany sitting 1. Alina Kovaleva playing an in-turn tap to that rock that you can see about a good half of that rock, trying to bump it out of the rings and sit for 3. No problem at all. So now 7-3 lead, RCF over Germany.
And back to our feature sheet here, Scotland, USA. USA line 2, almost got that perfect roll behind the center guard.
So I'll put the same that I gave you.
USA does have hammer here in the 7th end. Currently lies 2.
$11.5. 11. Here, have it. 11.
This is Jennifer's first stone that seems to maybe run a little straighter than her second.
Keep going, keep going.
Good shot.
What way was it, Vic?
All right.
Okay, Jen.
So a pretty good situation early in this end. House is split.
I'm just worried how hard it's going to be to peel later.
Either hit and roll behind the center or even a little bit of a roll outside. A nose hit could leave a double.
9-5.
Yep, 9-5. You got it.
That's what Tabitha was looking at to see if they nosed hit. Would there be a double opportunity for Team Scotland?
Whoa! 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 Yep.
Oh, very nice. Gets just a little piece underneath. There's no double. Hit and roll is probably still possible, and this is if the rocks haven't changed. The teams could change the rocks, and of course there's little numbers on each handle. So we of course from the distance we're away, we can't see exactly which rocks Jennifer's throwing, but her second rock has always been the finisher or the cutter.
Keep going, Lauren. Right to it, right to it.
Good shot.
That's fine, Jen.
There was no double there.
Still a wee bit heavy.
11-3. Much better, wait. Yeah.
Really good job to hit and stay for shot stone.
And they're having a look across the sheets there. Again, we saw Switzerland with that 5-1 lead over Korea. Italy and Czech Republic in a battle over on sheet B. Czech Republic with that 1-point lead, 4-3.
Come on, Nina.
RCF with a great last end, 3 points on the board, 7-3 lead over Germany. And then in our feature sheet, Scotland with that 2 points in the 6th has a 1-point lead as well. But USA looking good here right now, Kevin, keeping those rocks far apart, trying to secure their double for the rest of this end.
That was a nose hit, though. Did not get the desired roll behind the center guard. So there is a, well, I'm not sure if you can make the double, but you certainly hit and roll over and get close. It's quite far to make the double. It'd have to be an amazing shot to do that. This looks close to the nose to me.
Okay, that's fine.
That's just fine. Tried to have a go with the hit and roll over. I don't think the double would have been there anyway. It's too flat.
Sounds good. I like it.
So try to hit and roll into the house, at least in for a biter. Trying to get a roll behind center. This looks pretty good.
Wait, nice. Yep. Over the center line.
Very nice again. So that's enough roll that takes away the double possibility. So great shot by Nina Roth.
Very well done and good brushing, good line call.
It was perfect.
Yeah, the mistake would have been obviously to have it roll that much too far and leave the simple double. So you're right, really, really patient. Now Eve is thinking it's getting late in the end. Can't really afford to play around with that rock in the top 12 anymore. So now trying the difficult hit and roll on the intern side. This is a spot in the ice that tends to curl a little bit more.
Yeah, we did see a flash here way back. I think it might have even been the first or third end.
Oh, look at this.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Nice shot.
Very nice, got it underneath completely, but might have shown a half out the other side, but nicely done.
That was a good shot, and yeah, I think you can see about half, so USA looking to hit now, roll to the outside.
Yeah, I like it.
There's a good look at it.
We know this spot curls. This is the out turn away, so we know it curls as long as you're just through the house or just to the hack. Anything more, Becca threw extra weight here and rolled out a couple ends ago. Well, this is really tight to the rock. Top 12. I don't think so.
Oh.
But may stick both rocks in the house yet.
A little bit, Tara.
And she does.
So a bit of a bonus there. But that was released. That was inside all the way. Right away you can hear the hard. So that was.
That's right. And again, you're tight at all on this ice. It will curl, but great brushing there by Tara. And as you say, a little bit of a break just to keep both her red shooters in play, or red rocks in play. So really important here now for Team Scotland to hit and stick. You don't want to roll out. And allow that deuce to be back in play.
Weight's good. Hair down. 9.5. Weight's good. Hair down. Hair down. Yep. Hair down. 9.5. Hair down. 9.5.
Looks good, just cleaning it down the sheet.
Really nice. Nice. Well called. Good evening.
There's certainly no double there.
Nice shot.
Right. Shot rock.
Thanks, so too.
I know there's a lot of pressure for that one to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's a double.
I like that. I think we have to roll that way.
Yeah.
Do you like it out of the forefoot?
Where do you want to roll?
Full 8 foot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
As close to that one as we can get.
Okay.
This is okay, right?
So roll over to set up for a potential double on your last. And if it happens to roll just behind the center guard, that's okay too. You might see Eve freeze. You probably would. And she would own the buttonhole probably. So that's not a good situation. That was a bad miss by Nina Roth. That's the bottom line.
So USA would really like, as you say, Kevin, to hit and roll and try and group those stones together a bit, maybe set up a double on her next one.
10. Clean.
So Tabitha Peterson,
9-5. Back up. 9-5.
first stone here in the 7th end.
So end up nosing it. So sitting first and third now. You can imagine if Eve does hit and stay, the rocks will be separated across the rings. There'll be no double, and it'll just be a single point available for Team USA. But Eve does need to hit and stay.
Okay, 10. Okay.
The hit and stay sounds simple, but we have seen a few misses, but it was in the first half of the game that we've seen it more consistent play now in the last half with the hit and sticks now that both teams knowing the ice a little bit better, knowing their rocks a bit better.
Here's 10. Here's Here heavy.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Lauren. Lauren. Whoa, clean. Jen. Jen. Yes, yes. Jen. Jen. Hi, Jen. We roll. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Well called. Nice.
Perfect.
Eve.
Perfect.
Nice shot,
So
Steve.
for Eve, she's very happy with this result. Even if a hit and stay is made for one, she will have hammer in the even ends. Theoretically, 2 hammers to 1 with a tie game with hammers. That's a very good position to be in at this point in the game. But first things first, Tabitha needs to make this hit and stay.
Eve just threw a 10-3. Okay. You got it.
So this is the final stone here in the 7th end. Very important, United States hitting against 2.
10. Yep, 10. Yep, yep. 10. Hard. Yep, hard. Yep. Hurry.
Right to it,
All the way to it, Tara.
Heavy clean.
Just clean.
Right to it.
And it sounds good, and there it is. No mistake made by US. They put 1 on the board. And it is a tie game, 5-5 after 7, United States and Scotland.
Ideal. Yeah, really good job. Really good work.
I'm just going to go double check that. Just check. Yeah, I'll give you the thumbs up.
Okay, dokes.
Okay.
Good end.
Good. Yeah. We're just saying that she bees online.
Welcome back to Winsport Arena at Canada Olympic Park in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. You are watching the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. My name is Melissa Saligo. I'm joined here by Kevin Martin. Kevin, we have a battle on our hands.
That's been a good one.
It has.
It's been excellent, and yeah, there's a little bit of both teams having a little bit of trouble with the ice to start with, like figuring it out because we're in our first game. But that's changed over the last few ends. It's been terrific shot making, and we just, tie game and 3 ends to go, and just keep the aggressive play going by both teams.
And it just shows you, I mean, there was just one little mistake. There's been one little mistake each end, and that has resulted in the opposition getting a break here and there. And Scotland made no mistake the end before.
It's curling hard.
Only one on the board, however, for USA because of that little mistake this past end.
That's right. Nina Roth had the outturn tap to sit 2 and be able to score that point. Ended up touching the front one, and there's the mistake. Eve makes 2 perfect shots. You're forced. And that's been kind of the story.
All right. Feet more.
And over on sheet A, Switzerland taking on Korea with a 5-1 lead, and Switzerland line 3 in Korea's last stone.
Yes, Eunjun Kim. So this team was not at the last 2 Grand Slams. It was actually Minji Kim out of Korea. And so, this team coming in would have to get used to the bubble life. So it'll take a little time, but nice intern shot there against 3, making the score 5-2 now, Switzerland over Korea.
Good, sweet. Okay. Do you like going for the guard? Okay.
I like that ice.
Okay,
So back on our sheet, we've got the center guard that's gone up, corner guard.
she said enough to kill us.
USA has one buried top 4 behind the center. Lauren Gray now with that rock pretty high up, that guard. She looks like she's maybe throwing about a half weight, Kevin.
Trying to come around and make contact. Now, trying to put a little extra spin on this second stone. You could see that release was very aggressive. And still getting extra curl with that one. Sometimes if you have a stone that's kind of out of control, like Lauren's second one seems to be, sometimes I would reverse them and throw the guard, give 2 feet extra ice, lob the guard, and then have the more predictable one throw it second.
She's trying really hard. You know she's trying to manage those stones as best she can.
You can see on the release there,
Yeah.
It was a beautiful throw. A little bit back, lots of spin. You'd expect it would skid for a while, but nope. It went on to the guard anyways. So. Nice guard.
That was good, right? Yeah.
Italy, Czech Republic in a battle over on sheet Bravo. Sheet B, it's the 7th end and last stone here for the Czech Republic.
Looks like an out-turn draw, needing most of the 4-foot circle. You can see there's a red stone back 4. If you could ever bump it a little, this would be for 3. But of course, if you throw it too hard, that would be, questionable. So it does bump it. Oh, just only bumped it a couple inches. Bumps out a little bit more. It would have been for 3, but settles for 2. 6-3 now after 7.
We're all the way to it. Well, I'm just thinking they're probably still double peeling.
Yeah. I don't mind to it then. And then we guard after, right?
Yeah.
So where am I throwing it?
What? Top 4?
So in this 8th end, Team Scotland with the hammer. But USA currently line 2 and 1 fully buried right now.
And shooting.
And shooting.
And shooting. So good situation.
Good. Oh, I gave it to him. Whoa.
The tolerance with this one for Becca would be to come up a little light, would be just fine.
5, 6.
Or freeze it right in there. One or the other. Just does not want to be heavy and bounce off. And that's not a concern.
Go, go, go.
Very good. That is just fine. So it's time to open up the front, I would think.
I would think so. I think Team Scotland needs to
Even with this turn, Jen. Turn it to nice.
open it up and give them something to themselves later in the end here.
So trying to go red a little high, a little on center line side. Could also hit the yellow onto the red and open up the whole middle.
Okay, pretty thick.
So by playing this one on the center line, Kevin, I assume they're trying to run it into the red stones that are in the rings as well and move things around.
Scatter them, yes, and that's Jennifer did that a few ends ago, getting them all running. So can do it again. Really good shot again. Opens up everything.
Really good. Nice shot.
Yeah, really good hitter. Really good.
I didn't want to change first there.
Definitely difficult to make these run backs just off the nose, exactly what they wanted. Gets that red out from underneath the guard. So all you could ask, but now a chance to guard back up again. Getting late in the end here.
The other good thing about that shot is they did remove the one that was touching the 4 foot, so it's actually they're guarding one that's full 8 foot.
The leisure to outdraw in the end if everything stays where it is right now. That's a really good point. Looks like that should guard things up pretty good. Thinking that it might have overcurled just slightly, and with the amount of curl in this ice, in turn tap.
Okay, this is going to curl. Probably want to feel a little heavy.
From our vantage, it looks like it's fully buried.
But it does curl a lot.
It does, you're right.
If we do this, it's okay.
Okay, good.
That's
12.
a good discussion to have
Good
to
12.
get settled in your mind. Okay, here we go.
Trying to get through the port, hit that red one top 8, and actually roll behind the corner guard. So lots to make out of this shot.
Look at this.
Wow.
Pistol.
That is a pistol.
That's completely, that is 100% buried.
What a shot.
So apparently the red guard did over curl.
Apparently.
Yeah, really well done. This is such a hard shot. I know it looked it looks easy now, but the weight has to be perfect to be able to get the right amount of curl around that guard. And this is every bit as difficult.
Yeah, I think more.
There's our player comparisons. Nina Roth at 85, Victoria Wright at 79. You saw the ice they're taking on this, about good 3 feet almost of ice, and it's curling hard towards the center.
Whoa. Careful.
They took a ton of ice on that, Kevin.
It's just so much movement. That was actually a good throw. Looked good.
That's fine.
Called hack weight, so maybe a titch light, but not much, if any.
Yeah, hair more broom.
Just a hair more broom. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I quite like that.
I don't think so that we ignore this side and do. Let's call it timeout, eh?
Yeah.
Yep.
The guy's place to draw is.
So Scotland's going to call their 1 60-second timeout
She's going to hit and roll.
for this game.
I think right back to it's probably the shot. But
Dave
it's
Murdoch
nice
will
that
make his way out.
You're struggling. I've always like it curls nice here.
Curls nice.
I've probably always got this. I don't think she's ever going to chase us. If
Well,
we're
fine,
here.
There's perfect.
Thinking.
What do you like, guys?
Well, the first thought was right back. They make this though, then you're.
Yeah.
Pretty tough.
It's a really tough draw that way.
Yeah, we talked whether we could come there and push that back even, but I mean, we could come round here and stay, like, if we could ever tuck and be high and not leave this double.
That's almost there, but like to get to here.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like, I don't think we need to be overly deep, but if that happens, then that happens, right? Then they have to make the perfect hit and roll on top of you. Things are open, we're guaranteed one. If we get two is a bonus, right? So,
Right
So
here.
top tee
Like that.
fully for second.
Yep, I'm good with that. I like that.
just like obviously, like lines important. You don't want to leave this double, so just make that call. Yeah?
Okay.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah.
Can't argue with any of that.
No.
I think it's
Straight across, sit two. And to David's point, if there happens to be a touch heavy and you go down to the back red,
Oh, yeah.
fine, because, you know, we might get forced to one, but at least we would get one, we'd be one up, and then one hammer each. Still good control. So, excellent advice from world champion David Murdoch.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Got this thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Victoria Wright with her final stone here in the 8th end.
Line's good. Line's good. Top 8. Line's really good. Up to you. Drop
Looking
red.
for top 8, fully buried.
Top 4. Line
The line looks terrific.
Line only. Jen, you have to go.
Just does not want to leave a double, that's all.
Just dead level. Dead level.
No.
Exactly level.
Really close. We're good. Stop. Stop. Stop.
That's good.
Good.
Nice shot.
Really
Well
nice.
judged. Well judged, Jen.
Yeah, that's very good.
Just believing it was going to die.
Yeah.
That's
Stop.
it's exactly level. There's no double there.
What a good shot.
This way we get kind of a fatter roll, you know?
Yeah, we can be gutsy with it because you can
Or,
run into it.
yeah, I mean, our other option is
And it'll
this,
curl
hope
us
she
too.
noses, and then I have a chance if she ever doesn't too far.
This way you'll
Pop into that.
Yeah.
kind of a steep roll.
That's what Nina just played. We've seen this actually many times. This is where they
So
go.
Kevin, what are they trying to do here? Hit and roll or?
What kind of weight?
Yeah, so the discussion is, okay, make the roll over near the other one, and then maybe if he hits it, you might have a double. Or you nose on this one, hoping Eve noses, and then you will have a double. The worry is you nose, they make the perfect roll. Now you're on the hook for 3. So trying the roll, I believe Tabitha's going to try the roll on her first, which is the best chance of not giving up 3. You're in a bit of a pickle right now, your Team USA.
Yep.
Hurry.
Never run, Sarah.
This is that out-turn spot that curls so much.
And again, the over curl on that spot. We've seen so many down that same path, Kevin. They just over curl, but you believe it. Well, at least you think you believe it, but you just don't want to take that extra ice as well.
Yeah, we talked about that 2 ends ago. What did I say, 4 or 5 or something? Or
Yeah,
6?
at least 5.
Yeah,
yep.
something like that. Well, make it 6. Another one. It's just a tough spot. It goes so much, it's hard to trust. But it's been doing it every time. Now for Eve,
Ideally, we want to.
wanting a little
Ideally, we
roll.
want to roll right to here. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of half stonish. We'll give us something good.
A little more than 10 to keep it higher.
Yeah, I don't mind
I
that.
think that's safe.
I like that.
I like 9.
Yep.
I like 9 as well. That was kind of what I was hoping for.
Such a smart skip in your head. Gonna throw a little extra weight to try to not have it over curl in this spot.
We can control this well with 9, I think. I think that'd be good. Just sweep it high.
We've hardly seen a rock not over curl in this spot.
Correct.
So let's see if Eve can believe.
3/4, I think, at 9 should be good.
Here's, I know you're good.
Please allow easy.
Clean, yep.
So Eve Muirhead with her first here in the 8th end, trying to hit and roll.
Whoa, yep.
upped her weight this time to see if she can get that all-important roll.
Hard roll. Hard roll. Good feet.
Okay.
Didn't overcurl.
Nope.
Is it like covered?
Nope. That's just fine.
That's good.
And just heading over to sheet A, Switzerland with a 5-2 lead right now with hammer here in the 8th end.
Yeah, you got a really nice yellow in shot stone, only about half open. Elena Petz trying to pick it clean out of the pocket. Just like that.
Wow.
A great shot. 7-2 now for Switzerland after 8. Really nice shot by Elena Petz there. That was a tough one.
Back on our feature sheet here.
Got some of the inside.
Pretty good shot there by Eve Muirhead. Did manage to get a roll. Didn't roll as quite as far as she wanted to. So now USA. Are they going to take on? Is there a double there, Kevin?
It would have to be very thin. The red guard is in the way of the normal way of making the double, so I don't think so. I think it's going to be a nose and roll just a little because the draw is so difficult for two for Team Scotland. No, I don't even know how you would. So hit on the nose, or just a little roll behind the guards to make the
10? Okay.
tough shot for 2. Understanding that you won't have shot stone when these rocks stop.
So basically trying to make it as difficult on Scotland as possible to get a deuce here. As you say, the normal or typical draw pass to the center are blocked right now.
9-7.
By corner guards, that's right.
Hurry, Tara.
This is out there a
Hurry,
long
hurry.
ways, so do not want to jam the back.
Watch it, Nina.
You want to jam the back. Oh, it doesn't.
Actually rolls in for shot rock.
Good throw, Tim.
Won't be happy with that, though. That leaves
No.
an exact same spot for Eve to throw that she just did. So should have a good idea of how much room, what weight to throw, and everything on this one for nose hit for 2.
And to your point, this is the easiest way for her to get the 2. This would be almost the only way for her to have gotten the 2 if USA were to have rolled that one. It would have been such a difficult draw for 2.
That's right.
That'll be really, really good. Be a nice line.
But this is because Eve made the roll. Made that the roll that everybody's been trying all game. Well, Eve Muirhead made it.
So here we go, the last stone, 8th end.
10-5.
Team Scotland looking for a hit and stick for 2 points in this all-important 8th end. And you hear clean all the way, you know it's close, and make no mistakes. So there it is, 2 on the board. For Team Scotland, takes the all-important 2-point lead in the 8th end.
Yeah, really good.
The score after 8,
Yeah.
7-5.
Totally. Really good.
Good end.
Good end.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we can take chances at this point, so
Yep.
we have to. Okay. Yep.
So do you want to go hard for our 2 here?
Make sure then. Get it in the corner. Line's running nice. Line's good.
We're running pretty good. We're
3/4 in the forefoot.
Make it
Curling
good.
big now. Curling big.
Good sweep.
And we are back in the 9th end of session 1, Scotland versus the United States.
Line's good. Really curling.
It was, you could feel the momentum, Kevin, kind of USA in the first half, but you really feel Scotland has been coming on this last half of this game.
Well, and Team Scotland, they're getting the math right. They since the first couple of ends, you saw the USA get a deuce, but since then, it's been Scotland gets 2, gives 1, gets 2, gives 1, gets 2. And I'm not a math genius, but you're going to do well if you keep getting 2 and giving 1. So that's been kind of the way it's been going, and you're right, the momentum is all on Team Scotland's side right now, and rightfully so. They're curling really, really well.
Line's good. Nice and tight. Center line.
Line's good.
They've put a lot of pressure, especially on Nina Roth, and having to make really, really difficult shots, you know, trying to tap things that are either totally buried or almost buried, and they've had a couple of slight misses out of Nina.
No.
And Sheet C and RCF with an 8-3 lead over Germany. And it looks like RCF is at least line 1, if not 2. This is the last stone for Team Germany in the 8th.
There's not really a choice anyway on this one, and so it's a matter of trying to hit and stay in the 4-foot circle. Trying to hold this one straight so it doesn't over curl. No problem on the nose. That looks like 4-1. There was no shot for 2, so
Go then.
8-4
Line's good. Go if you have to.
for RCF. RCF with Hammer playing 9, and
Come on back.
And it looks like they shook hands. It's an RCF win over Germany, 8-4. Only 4 down, 2 ends to go, Kevin, but again, Germany only playing with 3 people.
without Hammer, and a virtual shake hands.
Virtual, yes, pardon me, a virtual shake hands, absolutely.
I guess a tap of the broom or something like that these days, but you're right, generally it would be rip the Velcro off and shake hands, but not these days.
Tight, and I think you can get the rest of it there.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay, I think we're a little light just now. We're pretty close actually.
No, we're pretty close. I thought we're all tight. Anything. Line's good.
Well, lots of plates in the middle here. Eve, of course, would really like to force Team USA to 1, even 2, so that you have that Hammer coming home, either 1 up or tied. Would have a terrific chance.
Nice throw.
Pretty good there. Sorry.
Good sweep.
I just think to get the roll, we probably just go right through the hole.
And Czech Republic over on Sheet
do a
B with
half
that
rack
3-point lead currently over Italy.
You could just straight
And
nose tap.
Czech Republic lying at least 2, Kevin, maybe 3, Italy last stone.
It looks like it's going to be an in-turn draw against 3, needing the 4-foot. And needing to go really, really wide out where nobody else has been. So it's kind of uncharted territory, way out. The one sweeper's feet are almost on the bumper, so you know you're way out there. But with the amount of curl, it'll come back, needing the 4-foot circle. Looks pretty good. Trying to get into the yellow circle, the 4-foot circle. Well done. Really good shot to go way wide like that. So 6-4 now after 8.
Yep, you gotta go. You gotta go hard. Come on. Whoa, Tara.
No, no.
So USA trying to tap here, trying to move the yellow stone around a little.
Good calls.
Good throw back. Good job, Pearl.
I like that.
Okay. How much is it? But, huh?
Looking at taking on the slash double is a skinny half.
I don't mind either.
It's a great shot if you ever over curl
If we could take
and
the double,
jam
it's
it.
really nice.
Oy, oy, oy. So
Okay.
it's a great call if you make it.
I think let's go for the double. You like the double? Yeah, that was your first thought, wasn't it? Yep. I'm either or, so let's go with your first. Okay.
Makes sense.
As you
Certainly.
mentioned earlier, sorry, Kevin, as you mentioned earlier, they would really like to force USA. So by taking on this double,
It's the toughest option, but certainly with the best result. This would be a huge shot. So a skinny half, even a third, will get rid of both reds and leave Team Scotland in great shape. And Jennifer Dodds has been hitting so well today. Why not have her try this?
Okay.
So I'd like to hit that a little bit fuller, but you can imagine the reason that you missed it a little wide. Didn't want to jam it straight back on shot stone, so
yeah, right way to miss for sure.
definitely the right way to miss. I think it's that the rock that was buried underneath the guard's gone too. So now trying to promote the red onto the yellow and roll your shooter behind for Becca.
10-5. Slow down. Whoa. High five. Yep. Whoa. Yeah. Yep.
So trying to roll this red rock, the shooter, underneath the yellows. Or going the opposite way. Okay. Good shot.
Really good shot.
Sorry, I told you to take the roll, but I was just there. 2 is better, right?
Two's better than one.
Would have loved that, obviously, to roll a little bit more, but with the weight selection,
Yeah, if you
it's
think
probably
that's
as
easier,
good as it could have got.
It's pretty flat the other way. So that we just play this. Would that be safer? Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Or do we hit and roll the open?
Or do you hit and roll the open one in?
Yeah.
Pardon?
I
Or
like
do you
that.
hit and roll the open one?
Bring it.
Quite like moving this
Only thing
too.
is then you're behind tee.
Yeah, if you hit and roll off the open one, you might roll and just bump the red buried.
All right, 11 and a half.
That wouldn't be so good.
Let's go 11.
Okay.
Okay.
Eleven and a half. Whoa. Clean. Go. Clean. Whoa. Line. Hard line. Gotta go. Hard. We gotta go.
Should curl here.
Hard. Hard. Hard, Jay.
Got it out. So to Eve's point, that was the dangerous rock, the one under the guards. So got rid of it. So good shot.
And played it safe. Like, again, we talked about it. You don't want to flirt with the guards at all.
Not when you're winning.
Not when you're winning. It would be absolute disaster to have ticked a guard. So would have loved to have kept that shooter in a better position, but great shot.
But always think, okay, what's the next shot? Now, so that was a fairly simple shot to do it the way Vicky Wright did it. Okay, now what does Team USA do? If they come around and go to the tee line, there's a simple double. So you've put more pressure by making the simple shot. Now look, you've added a bunch of pressure to Team USA. So that's where just I think the experience of Eve Muirhead is starting to show. As this game goes on, you're seeing the strategy making a difference.
So Nina Roth trying to draw around those 2 yellow center guards. And as you say, Kevin, not set up a double. Crucial.
5. Back and clean. 6.
Yep.
Here the number 6, that's about top 4.
Straight. That's fine.
That works. It was such a difficult shot to get in that top 8 foot without leaving a double. So that's a pretty good result. It's half underneath the guard. And
I like
second
throwing a
shot.
lot of weight just because of the jab. Yeah, so I throw 9 at Eve, at least I think. Easy peel? I think an easy peel.
The weight's good.
We could never roll picks, we could never play.
Yeah. But we can take tight ice. Yeah. You got it, Vic.
Try to roll onto the button.
Easy peel.
That's okay. Yep, that's good.
It's good. Stays shot stone.
USA trying to hit shot stone and roll behind towards the center behind those other two rocks if they can. They're not too worried about the jam if it happens to occur. Job number one, obviously getting rid of that yellow shot stone.
And not leave a simple double.
And not leave a simple double for sure.
Find some roll here.
Oh.
There's that double.
Good sweep.
So in the last few ends, that's 3 that have overcurled on Nina. Three in the last 3 ends. Or last 4 ends, sorry. It was 4 ends ago, the outturn tap clipped the rock. So that's quite a lot. And that's sort of been the difference in the last 4 ends, in my opinion. Not trying to be, mean or anything. Just what I see, 3, and they've all been over curls. So between games, after this game, that might be something for the coaching staff to talk about. Is just, with the amount of curl out here.
So Eve Muirhead looking to make this double. Remove those red stones and put the force on USA to have to take a single here with 3 rocks to go. She's close.
Nice shot.
Nice shot, Eve.
Well called, Vic.
Very nice.
Great shot.
I know it's crazy. No,
But there is a center guard and the rock in the top 12 to come around and bury behind everything in the top 8, top 4 for Tabitha. Still a good chance for 2 points.
Just go 4. All the way under. Okay.
All right. Do you want to be top 4?
Switzerland with a commanding lead over there in the 9th end, 7-2 right now, and line 2, I think, Kevin. Maybe even 3, and final stone here for Korea.
Yeah, it's definitely 2. So Jun Kim needs a good piece of the 4-foot circle. Olympic silver medalists from a few years ago. In front of the home crowd. That was electric.
How cool was that?
That was electric, yes. And this looks to be a little bit light. And it kind of looks like 3 to me. But two for sure, maybe 3.
Good sweep back.
And it was a steal, Switzerland stealing 3 with a 10-2 victory. Final score, 10-2 over Team Korea. Back on our feature sheet, Tabitha almost getting that fully buried. Weight was great, Kevin, but it does look like you can see an inch or 2.
Well, especially with the amount of curl in the spot. If Eve throws it nicely, she should be able to get this rock out. You see maybe a quarter of it from the hack, something like that. Not easy, but certainly there.
I think that's good, Eve. 12-5.
Yep. Easy, easy.
12.
Yep.
12.
Hard. Oh. Yep.
Please, good.
Hard.
Hard.
Hard, Jen. You gotta go.
Hold, Jen. Hold it.
You can see it starting to
Hold it.
break.
Got it. Hard. 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 Really good.
Oh, that's a mean roll. The outturn draw is still there, but the in-turn, because of the reverse stagger, the hit's not really there. So this is as good as it gets. This roll doesn't roll right behind, doesn't need to. The in-turn through the hole is too difficult.
Hold, Jen. Hold it. Hold it.
And it wasn't good enough just to make the hit. Look at that. That's the intensity and the experience of Team Scotland makes a hit perfect roll. And now for Team USA, exact same shot as their first one, has to hit good full 4-foot to get their single here in the 9th end. This is the last stone. 9th end, USA down 2, looking for a single point here in 9.
Line looks pretty good. Looks like it's managed to get all the way through the hole.
We're okay and wait.
Great judge.
Good throw, Tab.
Very well swept by Team USA, and they do get their single point. They cut the lead in half. It is now 7 for Team Scotland, 6 for the United States. We are done 9.
Swap our pair. Yep, I'm happy with that. Totally.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Quick as well, for down.
Okay.
We've still got one time out.
No, we will got one time out.
That's always the message.
Welcome back to session 1 of the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. We are at the Wynn Sport Arena at Canada Olympic Park in Calgary.
More than that.
My name is Melissa Sligo, joined here by Kevin Martin. Kevin, we've seen it, we've talked about it. USA playing tough the first 5, Scotland being very, very tough the second 5.
Very, very tough is right. And making all the shots, shooting a high percentage. I just think early, both Lauren and Jennifer Dodds, both Lauren Gray and Jennifer Dodds, had stones that they just had to figure out, and it just took a few ends to figure it out. They figured it out and have taken over this game. And that's been sort of the difference, I think. It's just been just straight percentage curling, nothing more than that. It's just been very impressive. Shots like this definitely don't hurt as well. First tick shot made perfectly.
What a shot.
Really nice.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, USA's been playing very, very well, very consistent, but it's just one shot per end that they've maybe made a half shot, and Scotland has jumped all over them.
Yeah, the score is still only 7-6, so it's still a very close game. It's just quite different than at the first 3 ends, say.
And close game over there on Sheet B, Czech Republic with a 2-point lead right now over Team Italy. Czech Republic with a hammer in the 9th.
Trying the straight back raise here for 2, trying to put this one away. Needs to come up a little though. Oh, makes contact, but not enough contact. So that's steal of 1s. This we've still got a game going on here. 6-5 now, coming home.
And over on our sheet, Lauren Gray with another great shot. Didn't quite move the red one as much as the first one, but still rose her shooter in, gets it off the center line. Job well done.
Absolutely, yeah. Full marks. Full marks opens up the forefoot for your skipper. That's all you can ask. In a perfect world, great to move them right to the very edges, but that's a bonus to do that. Just to open up the center line so the skipper has the forefoot to draw to in the end. That's great.
You gotta go.
Got to get on this one to get it over the hog line.
Come on, you got it. You got it all the way.
Got to get it over the hog line.
Come on, Nina. Hurry, Nina.
Got to get it over.
Oh.
Good work. That was not a sure thing that was going to get over.
Cheering.
This is a tough peel now because you've got to not hit and roll into the middle off of one of the many rocks that are kind of in the way. Oh,
Right through the middle.
that'll work. That's the danger. That's such a nice guard, way high like that. Any bit of misfortune and a rock could easily roll into the forefoot, roll to the center line, get ticked over to the center, whatever the case may be.
Push it in the end.
That's a little better.
Yep.
1,
A little bit. Make it a 2.
or a 2. Right here. 1.5.
Tara, if anyone.
So 1.5.
Tara.
Mine's fine. I don't really want to go. We're getting tight too.
Buy your shoes.
Another nice guard there by Becca Hamilton.
Okay.
Same situation. Got to be very careful with this peel. No problem again. They're coming quite close to,
They are.
to ticking those in, but no worries.
Sorry, guys.
Good, Jen. That's good.
Yeah, that was up just a
That's a great situation. Can't ask any more of your front end than what Eve's had happen so far.
Come under.
No center guards, and
Okay.
Team Scotland is sitting 2. That's about all you could ask.
For Team USA, have they called another guard, Kevin? I didn't see. Or are they going to actually try and come around now?
Well, I didn't see the call. I would think you'd throw one more guard.
There we go. Yeah, she's walking up there. So
I was a pure guess, though. I could have been wrong. I didn't know, but it just makes sense to throw one more guard. You might come around on Nina's last, or even throw one more guard yet.
I think you're right. Stay down.
Got to get this over,
We're good.
though.
We're good.
Yep, line them up.
Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, nice shot, Nina.
Now, with the angles, this is a little bit easier, this one, to peel off and not tick something in. Anywhere near a half rock will work just fine.
Easy peel.
Vicky Wright looking for the peel. Well done.
Good shot.
Tabitha's got her broom up pretty quick, so I imagine this will be one more guard. And then it'll have to be a decision of some sort. You could even go around on, this wouldn't be wrong to go around on this one.
Line 2. I think we're okay.
1. 2.
2.5.
Whoa, then just a 2.
Yeah, well then. Gotta grow.
We're good.
That looks just fine.
Yep.
Good need.
Good throw.
So a half rock is almost exactly aiming at the red that's almost biting. So, you know, for Tabitha, she's hoping hit half, hits that one, and rolls into the 8-foot circle.
Same way. Here more.
And for Eve, just hit it thin enough. Yeah, really good.
Great
really
shot.
good.
Yeah, really, really good is right.
Well, every rock's been perfect so far for Team Scotland.
So USA is going to call their timeout.
Go after that guy, and then we guard it.
I think I have to make it pretty
High.
perfect though, because if she's got half, she's probably taking.
Yeah.
Right?
So Coach Lainey Peters will make her way down to the home end.
I go high. She doesn't have a or try to get the tight one.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's fine. She might give us something to either come down to or something else to come under.
I mean, she always has an in off her own.
Yeah.
Or
I
off
like
of that
coming
one.
around.
I was thinking come around.
I was seeing come around too. Make it good.
Coming under? Talking about coming around now or guarding one more time. No. I think, yeah, that's what we can do.
So then she peels.
A teeny piece. Yeah. If I give her half, I think she's taking. Agreed. Yeah. Okay. But then you just do it again. Yeah. Yep.
Second
like
count.
another count. They'd probably be too close then.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. So I had you here, Neen. Yeah.
Okay.
We know this line. It's probably
Yeah, I think that one's nice and positive for you.
just a hair inside edge.
Coach has spoken. Coach has confirmed. They've got a plan for their first and second one here for skip stones for USA.
Yeah, you know, it's all about just trying to figure out a way. Okay, how are we? Like, it's not a great situation no matter
No.
what, of course, with Team Scotland making 6 perfect shots in a row. And you're never going to be sitting real good. But and now it's just a matter of figuring out, okay, well, how are we going to make the other team draw as much of the button area as possible?
Have to go a little bit.
Five? I think we're okay.
They're trying, I believe, to come around and show a piece to Team Scotland.
6.
Hope to entice.
Entice, that's right. That's the word.
The big thing, though, is to get shot. You want it to be better than the yellow that's biting the 8-foot. It is. That's a great shot. Very nice.
Count.
That's our attempting.
Now it's a decision if Eve will take on the run or just peel it off. Taking on the run is a little dangerous because you could either have your shooter roll to center or the other one roll to center. So peel this one off, and the job is done for Team USA. Draw another one in, and now either you're hitting, and if you don't roll perfect, you give up the steal, play the extra. Or if you draw, you're drawing against the game.
That's right. So yeah, I like that too. Is just a straight peel here in the first. No point in taking too much of a chance for Team Scotland.
Peel.
Well, it could be a disaster if you roll center line, and now Team USA draws right to the top of the button. You can't even outdraw it.
Yep.
So it looks just fine.
Okay, well called.
Nice peel.
Nice. Good throw, Eve.
I didn't want stuff in that come down.
I just did the light bones ever. It was like this, like, but it was like skin, like to yours. It was like.
Something more like that to block the forefoot
Make
a bit.
her
Rings a little tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make it a little closer.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I mean, but make it a little tougher.
Just as long as I don't give her a double, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, up here.
I kind of like
good.
that.
Okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go.
You don't want to give an easy double. Because right now, if you throw this rock anywhere in the top 8, or even if you were to come around the yellow rock by 1 inch, then Eve's got to be thinking, oh, you know, you draw against the game. Do you, you know,
So, same weight?
if you hit the
Yeah.
front red, you've got
That's
to
right
roll
where we
quite a
want it. Yeah,
ways.
I agree.
All tough.
Yeah, this path will be nice. I've thrown this many times. Okay.
Just need to make sure this is at least second shot.
All right, Tim.
The front end of USA just confirming the weight, knowing that it's pretty much the same as it's been the entire game. It's been terrific. So final stone here for USA in the 10th end, down by 1 point without the hammer.
Gotta go.
Go then, girl. Hold the line back.
Gotta go.
The Brushers have not lifted up at all on this one. As you say, Kevin, they would love to get this to be shot or second shot.
Has to. It's got to be there, or else it's an open hit.
Oh. And it comes up light.
So that was a good opportunity to put another rock in there and make Eve either draw the forefoot or make a hit and roll, but instead now it's a very straightforward shot for Eve. And that's just make that red go away.
That's right, doesn't even have to stick with those 2 yellows that have been there since the beginning of this end. So Eve Muirhead, Team Scotland, last rock, 10th end, up 1 with hammer, make the red go away.
Peel.
Yep.
Nice, well, just hard to. Nice.
And there it is. And Team Scotland actually put 3 on the board, so the final score will be 10 for Scotland, 6 for USA. 10-6 final, Scotland over the US.
Well played, Eve.
Well played.
Well played, Meg.
Well played.
Could have played like that double or something. You can't pray for misses.
Last shot on sheet B.
Yeah, needing an in-turn draw to the full 4-foot. Beautiful situation for Team Italy. You see the rock almost full 4-foot. So this is a needed nice draw here. You could even bump off the red a little. And good enough, good enough. 7-5 final. Good shot.
One yellow. So thank you. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the game. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I like it.
And looking back at the 6th end, this is the last stone for Team Scotland.
Just heavy clean, Jen. I think we're back 4.
After a small
Just
miss
clean,
by
just
Team
clean.
USA, this is an open draw for 2.
Yep,
The exact
yep.
same shot she threw on her previous one, and makes
Nice,
no mistakes, no mistake, and gets 2 on the board to take
Yeah, really
the
good.
first lead of the game against the US. The 5-4 lead, 5-5, pardon me, in the 8th end. Last stone for Eve Muirhead again. Opportunity for 2.
10-5.
Just an open hit and stick, makes no mistake, gets another 2 on the board and takes a 2-point lead heading into 9.
Really good.
In the 9th end, USA got their 1, and unfortunately, USA had an opportunity to split the rings and lie 2 in the 10th and put pressure on Team Scotland. Came up late, so Team Scotland with the open hit and the win, 3 on the board, takes a 10-7 victory over USA in session 1 at the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. And here are the final scores from session 1. Switzerland 10-2 over Korea. Czech Republic with that great draw in the last one, 7-5 final over Italy. 8-4 RCF over Germany, and Scotland, as we saw, a 10-6 victory over the United States. And here are the standings after just session 1. Czech Republic, RCF, Scotland, Switzerland with that 1 win. And then you see all the teams, Canada, China, Denmark, Estonia, Japan, and Sweden, who have yet to play their first game, and we will see them later today.
Well, Eve, a win to start off the World Championships. I'd like to hear about your team's efforts from your mind.
Do you know, I think it was a good grind from the team out there. Like, it wasn't the most straightforward game as such, and I think it was a little scrappy at times. But I think what we did well was we really kind of stepped it up, especially the second half, and we made sure and score 2s in those even ends and forced the 1s, and I think we did that pretty well as the game went on.
You know, you talked quite a lot about Lauren's 1 rock and maybe Jennifer's 1 rock being a finisher or a cutter or whatever you want to say. I guess I'd like to know from you, with your experience, how do you handle that? Because it seemed like you got those under control in the second half.
Yeah, it's one thing that we'll need to have a wee talk about and figure out how to get on top of that a little bit quicker, because it does cost you kind of half shots, doesn't it? And we can't really afford to have them at all. So if we can try and figure out how to get on top of that sooner, it'll definitely help our team out there. But it's never nice when you're a lead and you get given all the rubbish rocks, is it? But I guess that's part of it. So definitely for the next game, we'll figure out a kind of better plan how to get on top of them a little quicker.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations on the first win, and good luck going forward.
Thanks, Kevin.
Hey, thanks, Eve.
And there we go, session 1 on behalf of Kevin Martin, Melissa Saligo. You have watched the first round of the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021 from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.